feel it wrapped around your soul with no control? You can't breathe when you're drowning underwater. There's so much water. I'll run, I'll hide. Darkness always clouds my mind. When I look behind, it's moving closer every time. I can't pretend that I have a strong defense. 'Cause darkness, my old friend, you get me in the end. See you at the end. At the end. Can you feel it wrapped around your soul with no control? You can't breathe when you're drowning underwater. There's so much water. I can't pretend that I have a strong defense. 'Cause darkness, my old friend, you get me in the end. See you at the end.
Muted. What's going on, folks? Will Stewart here with another THFC rant. Today we are going to be talking about, is the defense defensible? That's the question for tonight. And to bring that on, to ask that question, I have brought on the defensive expert of the United States himself, America's #1 fan, Tottenham Hotspur fan. You know him, you love him. Marcelo. What's going on, Marcelo?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good, and I can't wait to talk about the defending. You know, this is what I specialize, man. You know, I love talking about defending, and to answer your question quickly, this defense is not defensible. Just like the defense in itself, they can't defend, bro. So I can't defend them. You know.
No, I agree with you. I think we got a few gems. Like I think that Reguilon is probably one of the best signings defensively that we've had in a couple years.
In a long time. Honestly, I can't remember a quality. I mean, honestly, since Toby, really,
Yeah,
since like we signed someone of like that quality, it's been since Toby. I
I
would say.
agree. And then too, I think coming up through, I think we've got Tanganga. I think is probably one that
Hmm.
that a lot of people are looking at, and I think he's shown some promise. I think Rodon showed some promise too, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But we got a bunch of people that were in here, and they were throwing in some chats before we started, and they're starting to pop in now. AK Gaming, he's been all the time, and then our man Brian the man. I'm sure when we throw the link in there, he's going to jump on there too. And we've got Eunice, and he's an Atletico Madrid and Tottenham supporter. And he's saying, too bad that we won't be getting into the Olympics. Yeah, I know. It's, well, I mean, honestly, because we had, and I really don't understand why Brohalter decided to have 2 matches on the same day. Like, if you're really trying to qualify for the Olympics, like if that's your main goal, if you're serious about it, why not have Reina and a couple of those guys that were starting for the full men's team there? You know what I'm saying?
In a friendly game.
Yeah, for a
No, it's
friendly.
ridiculous.
So my guess is that it wasn't a priority to them, seeing that we have World Cup qualifiers around the same time as the Olympics. So if you end up having a lot of those
True.
guys on that squad, then it'll be hard to get them in for the World Cup qualifiers as well. And Brian asks, is there going to be a link to join? Absolutely. That's our thing. But before we throw that out there, I just wanted to come on and say, hey, and we'll get, Marcel's kind of rundown of what he thinks, where we need to improve, and then we'll throw it in for everybody to join. So
Absolutely.
Brian says, good evening.
Good evening,
Let's
Brian.
rant. All right. So Marcel, tell us who you think needs to go, who you would keep, and who you want to bring in.
You see, for me, I think definitely who needs to go. It's 100% Eric Dyer. Been saying it since the beginning of the season. Saying even when we're on top of the league. I just feel like he just lacks a lot of things in a footballer. Now, I do think he has his moments. He has his good moments, like every player does, Every player has his day. And he had some good, I think, like the Man City game, he was actually pretty exceptional when we beat them 2-0. But it's just his inability to grow. He comes out in the media and he says all these stuff, right? Oh, I've been happy with my performance and everything, even though he's, if you count his individual errors and how it cost us a lot of games, he's actually cost us 10 points or 11 points, which is actually more than David Sanchez, believe it or not. So,
Yeah, no, I agree.
you're saying your performance has been great, but you've cost us literally, so many games. So he has to go. He's a guy that's tall, but he can't jump. He's not really the fastest. His tackling ability is, he actually does. I think he's actually pretty. That's his best game. His tackling is actually good. He holds his ground pretty well, but he gets spun. If he gets a player, that is really mobile, quick on his feet. He gets spun very easily, and his passing is not that great. His long balls are not that great. Yeah, if you look in stats, it is accurate, but if you actually watch the games, his long balls lead to nowhere, and he takes way too long to pass, and when he passes, it's often to the wrong player. So he's 100% needs to go. And this is going to shock you, Will, but I also think Toby has to go. Just the age thing. We need a whole freshen up in this defense. Whole freshen up. We need a partnership, right? Like, as much as I love Toby and as much as I think he's our best defender, skill wise and technique wise, and knowledge wise, obviously, he he's he can't play too many games. Mourinho doesn't play him, 3 games consecutive for a reason. He just doesn't have the legs. And if you remember back in the Jan Vertonghen, Toby days, those guys would start every match pretty much, almost every match, especially the big ones. Those guys were the guys you depend on. And if you look at any club, Liverpool, even Man City back in the days when they had Company and what was it, Company Laporte, that's when teams are most effective, is when you have that two partnerships and a center back. You need that
100%.
consistency. So I think Toby has to go. And I don't want to be too knee-jerk on Sanchez. I think if we get a good price for him, I think I'll definitely let him go. But if he does keep improving, since he does have age on his side,
He's still pretty young, right? Like he's only like 24, right? So
yeah, I'm kind of willing to give him another season. But if we get a really good price for him, like for let's say like 45 million, right?
sell him for what we bought him for.
Yeah. I mean, no, I'm serious. 45 million, 50 million. Goodbye. Let's get Milinkovic, get Konsa. That's a real partnership.
Yep, I agree with you. But since this is a North American show, we've got Canada's two biggest Spurs fans waiting backstage. And
Absolutely.
So we're going to bring on Cody Mack and Brian Daigle.
Come on.
What's going on, lads?
How are you doing, Brian?
Good evening, lads. How we doing? Evening, Will, Marcelo, my man, and Cody. How we doing?
Yeah, doing good. How you guys doing?
All good, man. All good. Spurs haven't ruined our weekend, so we're all good.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
Clean sheet.
Exactly.
I've kind of been missing the drama, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? So
I thought we had enough drama for an international break with the Bale comments and anything, but
Kane's comment today. We'll probably get into that later. But what are your guys? We'll start with Brian. What are your thoughts on the defense? What do you think? What do you see needs to change? What do you think that needs to happen back there in order for us to be successful moving forward?
I agree a lot with Marcelo says. First of all, I want to touch on Matt Doherty. Now, obviously, he's got to go.
I didn't even get to that.
It's not been a great signing. But what I do have to say, in Matt Doherty's position is, Wolves did a number on us on knowing they were going to a flat back four, and he weren't there. And in all fairness, when you sign a right wing back who for the last 2 seasons have had only the second amount of stats compared to Trent Alexander-Arnold, and you buy a player as a right wing back and you play him at right back, yeah, they're similar positions, but they're not the same. So we haven't used Matt Doherty in his correct position. If he'd had a season at right wing back and done terrible, I would have been kind of like, right, he's got to go. So I do think he's got to go, but I think he's been dealt harshly. But when it comes to Sanchez, the only thing I'd say with Sanchez, I'd keep him. But if we were to sell him, the thing I'd want to have done first is get the replacement in first. Because if we sell Sanchez, I don't know how much we'll get to get another defender. And we could get rid of him just for the sake of getting rid of him. And you don't know who we're going to get in. Like Marcelo's correctly said, with Sanchez, at least he's got age on his side. And the only other thing, I agree with Marcelo with Toby. But what I think we should do with Toby is keep him on the coaching staff. Have him and King working on the defence, because I think King's going to be the next manager. And the thing we've got to do is we've got to support Mourinho and try and get football players that have been good servants of the club within the club, with his reputation, with his knowledge, that can only help the defence. So everything else that he said, Marcelo was bang on the money. I couldn't agree with more.
Yeah.
So before I jump in and grab Cody's comments, I got questions for a couple things. I mean, do you think that Toby, it feels like he's done playing? Right? Or do we offer him the job and say come back in 2 or 3 years when you're really done?
I would keep him for another season, but give him the coaching role as well. Because the thing is, like Marcelo said, Toby is our number one defender. If we have to pick, if we're all managers and it says right, pick your first centre back, a fit Toby is first. It doesn't even think it. But the thing is, it's coming to the point now where because of his age and his legs, you can't depend on him for every single game. And the thing that Tottenham need, to me, the centre-back pairing is the most important pairing on the pitch. That needs to be as consistent and as solid as ever. So Toby can be there for the big games or when he's fit, like we have with Ledley. If he's fit, he plays. But we can't try and get him playing 3-4 games a week next week because we've seen how much it takes out of him now.
Yeah, no, I hear. What do you think, Cody? What are your thoughts on the defense?
it's not very good. It's not very good. If we really want to be consistently getting top four, and it's one thing to strive to make the Champions League, but we want to be competitive in the Champions League. We don't want to be getting eliminated in the group stages or the quarterfinals or anything like that. So when you look at it through that lens, we're very far away, especially when it comes to the defense. I know most people would probably want to keep Toby, but I tend to agree with Marcelo. You know, he's a player that's past his prime. And the way that I would look at it is, as Toby starts to kind of decline, basically each year that you keep him is like getting rid of Toby and signing a worse version of Toby. So, you know, transfer market has him down as being worth 16 million. I don't know if we could get that for him, but I would be cashing in my chips on Toby and Dyer. And I think one thing that gets lost with the center back partnership too is the importance of what's going to happen at the keeper position. I don't know if you're just going to go one by position, but I think Lloris has to go too. You know, I think it's about time, and it's the same thing. You know, if you want to have Lloris, let's say he agrees to a 3-year extension, just like Toby, you're just going to have a weaker and weaker version of Hugo Lloris every year that you keep him. So the time is now to kind of sell some of the older players. And Davinson, I think that you've seen how he really benefits from having Toby in there with him. You know, he needs that kind of strong voice. He's not going to be the leader of the partnership. So that's what we need to bring in. We need to bring in somebody who's not only capable of leading that partnership, but possibly capable of leading the entire team, you know. But I do think that there is still a ceiling there that hasn't been reached with Davinson Sanchez. And one reason that I'll cut him some slack is he had a baby last year. And let me tell you, when you're not sleeping because you've got family life going on at home, it affects your work. And especially these guys who are expected to perform at a high level and are using their bodies, you know, like that's where you see like a lot of those mental mistakes might be coming from that thing. So I think now we're getting to the point where maybe his kid's starting to sleep a little bit more. And we've seen that improvement. You know, he just came off 7 straight games in 3 weeks, you know, very impressive run. So I think there's more to come. I don't really see selling Sanchez as a good option.
No.
There's something I could add to that, actually, Cody, as well. I think I mentioned it on the pod last week, especially for the foreign players. And I don't just mean this for Tottenham. I mean this for every foreign player across the world. Is this year with COVID, they haven't been able to have their family around them. And like you said, if Davinson Sanchez just had a baby, what you want is your parents, you want your family, your brothers, anyone just coming and being part of the family and the outside of football life, just having that support and that connection. And no one has been able to travel to see their families for obvious reasons. And I think that's had a big effect on foreign players across the world at the moment that have just moved or just had kids or whatever. They haven't got that support that they could normally just go, listen, here's a first class ticket, fly over, I'll pay for it. They just haven't had that. So I think that, like you were saying, with the baby getting older and maybe sleeping better, I think the mental aspect of it is huge as well.
Yeah. Personally, I think with the whole center back thing, I don't know about you guys. I do think it would be very important to get that center back partnership down. But I think right now, what I would rather get done first is that fullback partnership. I think we need to get someone to accompany Reguilon on that right-hand side. Well, you know, Reguilon on the left and someone on that right. Because in my opinion, 2 great fullbacks is key to pressing. And we have no pressing right now with this team. This team has no press. And I remember in the days, you know, with, you know, Walker and, you know, Danny Rose, those guys would suffocate teams just on the wing. They would suffocate wings. And it just tripled our offense. You know, our offense looked amazing. And sometimes, you know, the best offense is, you know, the best defense, you know.
Correct.
You don't give the enemy team any time to breathe or think is, you know, the best way to neutralize their offense. And I think if we get Reguilon, a guy on the right-hand side, you know, you watch Robertson and Trent, how well they, you know, fed off each other, you know, through the years. You know, and you know, I mean, if you want to go way back, you know, the Cafu, Roberto Carlos, you know, I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I was watching those guys just rip everybody apart, you know. So I think,
or even you know, Danny Rose and Kyle Walker, 16, 17.
Danny Rose, Kyle, absolutely. You know, every team has, you know, a real, you know, that's real attacking. Has a great fullback, and I think fullbacks, especially in this era, fullbacks are very important role because they do so much. They can create, they defend, They they can crosses everything. They help the wingers. It's just like the fullback nowadays. It's such a heavy role, really.
You're right. You're right, and I've said it for the last 2 years, and I think now with the Oliver Skip connection,
Yeah,
hopefully it could help. We need Max Aarons. He fits.
absolutely.
He fits all the criteria. Helps with the English quota. He's young. If we do
Yeah.
sell him, and that man wants to sell someone, he has a high sell-on value. And I think last season we tried to get him,
Yeah.
but wouldn't reach the fee. But I reckon this year with the Oliver Skip connection, it could be a lot more doable.
Hopefully.
Unless he says he wants another year with Norwich. But I honestly see him as the key to that right back position.
Yeah,
What do you guys think about Tanganga's future?
I see him as a centre back.
he's a center back. Yeah, I agree. He doesn't listen. He can play right back. Don't get me wrong, but when you think of Tanganga at right back, I think of he can do the job. And you don't want a guy that just can do the job. You want a guy that when he plays in his position, he excels. You want a guy that when he, especially in a fullback position, you want creativity, you want some flair into that player. You want, speed and just explosion. And Taganga, although he is actually quite fast, but he's not fast compared to like a Trent or maybe like a Reece James. He's not on that type of level, man. We need someone like that. An Aarons, Max Aarons would be perfect. Even Lamptey. Honestly, I've been in. I know he's been.
Great shout.
I know he's had some injuries, but honestly, when he's played, he's been fantastic. And we need someone that can bomb that right hand side. And with Doherty, I think honestly, I've seen enough in one season to know to make up my mind. Honestly, he's been absolutely horrible. I even gave him the benefit of the doubt. Said, yeah, let's play him right wing back, and we played him at right wing back against Liverpool. He was atrocious. We played him in right wing back against Sheffield. He was the worst player. Like he's done. He's just finished. He can't be a Tottenham player. I'm sorry. Him and Aurier, in my opinion. I think Aurier has to go as well.
The other thing I'll say, Cody, if you look at it, against Villa, Tanganga was fantastic, but that was against Villa. You got to remember, Tanganga made his debut against Liverpool last season at their highs, and he played at centre back, and he walked off pretty much man of the match for Tottenham.
Yeah.
And I really think, don't get me wrong, I think he's more a centre back that can adapt to right back if need be, rather than a right back that can adapt to centre back.
Absolutely.
I think we've got a very versatile player there and an England regular of the future. But I personally see him centre back.
Why do you think Jose sees him as a right back?
I have no idea.
I think
His
it's just
height?
because he's young and fast, right? He's young, he's got legs, right? And right now, that's such a position where we're kind of struggling. And like my position on Doherty is that at the beginning of the season, although he didn't seem to show the same flair in attacking wise as he did when he was playing for Wolves. He seemed to at least be just kind of like a bang average, no mistakes, nothing really flashy, but just kind of did his job. But then against, Arsenal in that match, I mean, he was just he looked like, I mean, he was getting turned left and right.
But do you know what as well? Well, with that, I blame a lot of that on Mourinho and the team, because if you see that's your weakness, you say to the rest of the team, listen, he's getting absolutely brutalised. Help him out, or you sub him at half time. So he's kind of hung out to dry. So, and like you said, he's played a couple of games at right back, but at Wolves, it was like your right wing back, your right wing back, your right wing back, your right wing back, your right wing back. He played consistently. And the other thing is also, and it's not defending him, it's like Wolves have come a long way, but there's a big difference between playing for Wolves and playing for Tottenham Hotspur. Like when people say when they go to Liverpool or these big clubs, and the expectation, they're like, whoa, I didn't really. So I think Doherty, and you've got to remember Doherty, when he signed, then went straight on to international duty with Ireland, came back. It was pre-season was done. He didn't get a full season. Now, I'm not trying to defend him in any way, but I think he's getting a lot of extra stick that isn't, his performances have warranted it, but I don't think this hasn't been the season for him.
Yeah, the first half of the season was decent. I mean, I didn't think he was great, and I didn't think he was horrible, right? There were times when I called for him to start over Aurier simply for the fact of the Aurier, the mistakes that Aurier was giving away the first half of the season, especially during that 6-game kind of drought that we had right there after the Liverpool match. But yeah, I mean, Yeah, I just think that in Victor HM here, I don't know if you guys caught the Lamella show that we did Friday night, but this guy right here, dude, he's awesome, dude. He's got knowledge to knowledge, and he made me 10 times more scared than I was before I talked to him. So
Yeah.
he's a good.
Okay,
dude.
so let's say center back. Okay, sell Toby, sell Dyer. That leaves Sanchez, Roden, and let's say Tanganga as a third option. Who would you bring in?
Milinkovic and Koza.
I love that Koza guy. The Koza guy looks great. I'm still sticking at it. I mean, obviously, I think it's going to be a lot harder to get Skriniar now. I think we've really shot ourselves in the foot with that one, big time.
Skriniar is being valued at 60 million now.
Oh well, forget that. That's just not even happening. That's just let's take him right out. I'll tell
Don't
you.
worry, we don't need him. Milinkovic.
I'm going to say another guy. I'm going to call another guy out left field, and I think he's a very, very good player with a lot of potential. But I think the team he's at is just not right for him, and he's getting absolutely battered. But we were in for him years ago, and it's the Newcastle captain, Jermaine Lascelles. He's actually a very, very, very good defender. But obviously, the way Newcastle play and the way Newcastle are, it's atrocious. It's like backs to the walls the whole time. But he is a huge unit of a man who is actually a very, very talented defender. And I think if they get relegated or if they carry on as low as they are, I think he's gettable.
Yeah.
Right. So what I did, I made a quick list of 6 center backs that we've been linked to at various points this season. So you've got Sven Botman. He's 21. Price tag's 36 million. Milinkovic is 23, 30 million. Skriniar is 26, 60 million. Vestergaard and Bednarek. Vestergaard's 28, 20 million. Bednarek, 24. He's worth 28 million. And then Anderson from Fulham, who's 24 and worth 17 million. So I'm not really interested in either of the Southampton backs.
No. Yeah, they're ridiculous.
I think that they're overrated and they're slow, and really that's kind of the worst part of our center back, aside from the individual errors that they make. The fact that we don't have that much speed in Toby and Dyer, it really keeps us from being able to push up the pitch and maintain that high press, right?
Did you say Brentner from Southampton? Or
Bednarek.
Bednarek. Yeah.
Bednarek.
How many own goals does that guy have? Does he have like already 3 own goals this season? No, thank you. No, he's shocking. Vestergaard, too slow. Milinkovic, Anderson, he's all right. He doesn't. The thing is, right? In my opinion, Brian, is we need a guy right now. We need like a guy that's already got it, and then we can maybe put a Cones, maybe even Rodon, maybe even Sanchez next to him. But we need the guy right now, almost a Van Dijk. Like he's already got it. We don't need to wait 3 years. We don't need to wait, for him to develop. He's already he's at it. He's at his peak. And I think it's either Milinkovic, Skriniar. I can't say anything about Botman because I have not seen him. I really wanted the kid from Sevilla, Coendia. I think that's how you say his name. Fantastic, but he's going to Bayern Munich, sadly. But also I've heard about Konat wanting to leave Leipzig. He's also another very good defender. But we need someone like that. We needed that that caliber. I don't
know if you
Anderson.
saw the links. Everton have apparently, and if they go for this guy and they are getting serious talks for him, and we don't go for him at all, I will be seething. But there's big rumours that I'm hearing that Everton are seriously going to mount a target for Koulibaly. And if Everton go for him and we don't even make an inquiry, that will speak volumes.
I'll tell you this, Brian. This is going to sound controversial. I think Konat is better than Koulibaly. I've been watching Leipzig.
He's got the potential. He's got the potential. He certainly has got the potential. There's no doubt about that.
Koulibaly, in my opinion, he is very good, but he is rash. I think Konat, he's a more cold-blooded. He is much. I don't know why. He just plays more like he's a senior player than Koulibaly.
Yep.
While Koulibaly plays more like a young prospect, in my opinion. But look, listen, Koulibaly is a great defender. I listen. I can't complain with my with this defense. Anything would be an improvement.
We'll have to see. I mean, again, it all depends where we finish. If we
Yeah.
win a cup, if we get Champions League, because like you're saying, if we sell these players and we can only spend what we sell, we're not getting a lot of money for these players.
No.
Regardless.
No.
Yeah,
No, but the
buyer's
thing-
market.
But the thing is, it's like at the end of the day, there's nobody to blame but Enoch in itself, because you decided to buy cheap, you decided to take the gamble, man, and now you didn't pay it off. It's like you go, playing cards, and you take a gamble for I don't know, and then it didn't pay out, and you lose money, and you're like, oh wow, why did I, what the heck, I want my money back. I was like, no, dude, you chose to gamble that money. That's your fault. You
Right.
pay for what you get. And, they could have gone De Ligt. They got Sanchez. We
Yep.
could have gone Skriniar. Instead, we got Rodon and Doherty. They literally only asked for 10 more million for Skriniar.
Marcelo,
And-
don't make me walk through that Levy door. Don't make me walk through the Levy door.
But right, like, am I crazy here? Like, this is your own fault. Like this, and then they start complaining, and this is where like I get annoyed at Steve Hinchin and all these guys, because they start complaining and they start saying, "Oh, this is so tough. This is so tough." I'm like, yeah, it is fucking tough, but this is your job, dude. Like, how about you start doing it? And you want to say you're buy and sell, then you gotta buy and sell. Like, you gotta like what like, and then like fans just say, "Oh, we can't do it because we have to buy and sell." I'm like, okay, but you do realize it's their job to sell players. Like, that's not an excuse to not do something in the
Of course.
transfer market. It's so annoying. I honestly despise that excuse.
Correct.
So I brought this up just to kind of look at him. You think he's a bit young and a bit short, or do you think he's all right?
I think.
He's
Listen,
been superb.
I since we've been linked with him, I have been watching him. Well, real deal. Kid is the real deal.
Yeah, I've had him on my fantasy team several times this year. So
The great thing about him as well is he's a Tottenham Hotspur fan.
Oh, bring him in. Bring him in. Sell
He's a Tottenham,
bring him in.
he's a Tottenham Hotspur fan. So I mean, I always said this. Like, I never got close to becoming a professional, but I know that I would have had it. Not saying he's got in his contract, but I would have always had something that if Tottenham Hotspur come in for me, like, you can have whatever fee you want for me or whatever. But if Tottenham Hotspur come in, there's a fee. I go. I'm not saying he's got that in his contract, but if you hear your boyhood club comes in for you, it's going to be very, very hard. Very
I hope
hard.
we get him. I really do. I hope we get him. If we get him, listen, the only issue is with Konsa is I've been watching him. He is still very young, so you lack the experience side. But if we do get Konsa and maybe partner him up with, I don't know, like a Sanchez, or maybe get another defender in, I personally,
Yeah, if we need
my
an older
dream partnership would be Konsa and Milinkovic. Because Milinkovic, although he is only 23, he has so much experience in the Serie A, so much experience, and I think he's better than Skriniar, in my opinion. I think he's better than Skriniar. Milinkovic, if you look at his numbers and you look at the way that guy plays, he is an absolute unit. And I think Konsa's pace ability with Milinkovic's just being a unit and just savvy style, I think that'll be just a dream partnership for Tottenham Hotspurs. Dream
Well,
partnership.
this is why I say again about Toby staying on as a coach, because if you get two youngsters in, what better people to learn from than Toby Alderweireld and Ledley? But also, I'm sure as well that one day soon, when he retires, Jan Vertonghen will be back as a coach. I have no doubt in my mind that
100%.
that's in the stars. So if you have, not saying that all three, but if you have two of those three, whether it's Ledley goes on to be assistant manager or a bit more coaching with a little bit of an eye on the defence, and then you have either Jan or Toby in the coaching, there's potential to make that defence unbelievably tight.
So Victor says, what about he really likes Van Botman. I think he brought this point up last week too, is that we really kind of need a left-footed center back, pretty
That's true.
good.
Yep.
And he's got some decent height to him. He's about 6'3". 6'4", and 21, left-footed, and the price isn't horrible either. So
Yeah, I have to admit, since moving to this side of the pond, when I see 193 centimeters, I'm like, what the? I only deal with feet and inches. So with you giving me the breakdown, it makes it a lot easier for me.
well, I'm 6'5", and I'm 195
You're
centimeters tall.
You're
so
six what?
6'5", yeah, I'm 6'5".
Wow.
I'll say this, man. Honestly, I've heard so much about him. I should really start watching Lil. I do really hate League One, though. It's probably my least favorite league to watch. It's the most boring league I've ever seen to watch. But I've heard so many good things about Botman. And since he is left-footed, I'm willing to give people the benefit of the doubt. And, you know, listen, Botman or Konza, Botman or Milinkovic could be a great pairing. As far as I'm seeing here, Milinkovic, you know, he got out-jumped by Jota twice. Okay, I mean, I guess so, but you know, if you that's very unusual for him because I watch him in the Serie A, and I'll tell you this: that guy gets every corner out. I mean, you can look at his stats, you can look at anything, dude. That guy is like the aerial king from what I've seen. And
how much did we spend on Rodin last year?
14
or this season?
14.
So we could have picked him up from Ajax for 8.
Ah, jeez.
Please stop. Please stop.
Yeah.
Stop opening that door for me.
What do you guys think about Joe Roden so far? I mean, I know that we haven't really seen as much. We haven't seen as much of him as I would have liked so far. But I when I see him play, I see the makings of a leader in there. To be honest, you know, he's very commanding and looks to be good with communication. And I think that he's getting the captain's armband for the first time for Wales, isn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I completely agree with you, Cody. And to be honest, like Stel from Tottenham Away said, and I said, I still don't understand to this day why he was not put in the Europa squad when we had the opportunity. He's been very, very commanding. Yes, he's made mistakes against Liverpool and on his debut against Chelsea, but this is like a 20-odd-year-old kid that hasn't played Premier League football. The way you learn is from your mistakes.
Yeah.
And he hasn't backed away from them. I think he's got real potential.
Yeah, that's what I see when I see Roden playing. That's a good point, is that I see a player who is going to have to learn and going to go through those growing pains of making mistakes. But I look at him as the type of player who's not going to make the same mistake twice.
Yep.
I agree. Yeah,
We've got, before you go into the next point, I'm going to bring you on Andre, also known as 92 Flamethrower. So he's going to jump in here with us. Andre, what do you think about the defense?
Hi,
are you there? Or did you freeze up on me? Yeah, I got you now. You're good, bro. Talk.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Okay,
a little bit of delay, I'm
apologies,
guessing.
Apologies, the connection goes bad. So.
That's all right.
Okay. What do you want me to talk about?
The defense.
Like the defenders, or?
Yeah. Or you can just sit and listen too. It's up to you, my friend.
Okay. So yeah, Okay. So Toby, I think we need him. We know how to last leaders, and to let go of one of our best defenders and have like no one there. I think that would be dumb. So he's a must keep. I think Dyer has to go. Sanchez, it keeps improving, then he can stay. Rodon, I think he looked really impressive.
Yeah.
You know, the Welsh Maldini.
There we go.
And then Tanganga, I think he should be given a chance at center back. I don't really like him at right back. So
yeah. What do you think of that? Because for me, it's like
I'd say that's what I have to say about the center backs.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of that from Mourinho? Because for me, I felt like he's been making a real blunder with Tanganga, just not utilizing him as much as he could. You know, I understand. You know, early in the season, he had those injuries, right? So he was trying to warm him up, right? But you know, for against Dynamo, right? Like, how many times have you seen that Sanchez and Dyer partnership just be an absolute disaster? You know what I mean? How many times does he have to watch that to realize that you should never play Dyer and Sanchez ever, 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 you know, in no circumstances whatsoever together. You know, like unless everybody's injured and those are our only two center backs, should you play them? In my opinion, he should have played Tanganga at center back alongside with Sanchez or, you know, Dyer, one of them. I don't get that. I don't get his stubbornness about Tanganga and refusing him to play him at center back. I don't know. I don't understand.
So the thing I don't get about that, Marcelo, in all honesty, is, and it goes back, like you said, about the psyche of Jose Mourinho, is I'll go back to his debut against Liverpool. He chucked a kid in that no one had even heard of. You maybe heard of him in the background, but not thought that he's near the first team. And then just chucked him in against, like I said, Liverpool in their prime last season when we played them at White Hart Lane. Yet throughout this season, he said he hasn't been ready. It's like, I'm sure he wasn't ready to go jump into a first team game against Liverpool, but you felt to do it. And it worked in your favour because he had a blinding game.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, when the defence is doing really, really bad, you had this ace up your sleeve, but I don't know if he saw it as an ace. I think he may have seen it as a joker, so to speak. And if that didn't work, so as good as Jose Mourinho is with the mind games, I think he's doubting himself a little bit.
Yes.
Because it doesn't make sense to me.
Because for me, you know what's not ready? Dyer playing for Tottenham Hotspurs.
Yeah.
That's not ready. You know, he should be gone by this summer, in my opinion. It's just like it might be like just have a leap of faith. Just have a leap of faith. You know, like look, it kills me because I watch Pochettino. I've seen even that scum Arteta. I've seen like so many managers in the tougher times. Sometimes just have a leap. Look at Phil Foden.
Yep.
Like Pep doing Phil Foden, like just have a leap of faith. And this whole saying, oh, but Mourinho, he's actually been playing the youngsters. He bullshit, man. He plays them, either in the small games or in the games that really don't matter, or he's played them like for a couple of minutes. Or like the only time he's really played them was when Toby got injured in the Chelsea game. So he couldn't play, so he put in Rodon. The only time he's been played, the only time he's played the youngsters is when he's been forced to. And I would say this, Rodon actually had a good game with Chelsea, despite that, first mistake, but what do you expect from chucking a kid into a Chelsea game? He's going to make a mistake. But since then, even with Tanganga, instead of he has that performance, instead of keeping it on, he benches him. And I remember with Tanganga, he benched him, and then he waited a couple more months until the defense was just inexcusable, then played him against Wolves, and then benched him again. And then it's just I don't know, man. What is it with that? He needs to have a leap of faith. He needs to start having a leap of faith with these youngsters a little bit more. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of, seeing fucking Doherty and Aurier and, Dyer. Why are you believing in these guys? They're going to cost you your job. Dyer isn't going to fight for your job. Tanganga could.
Let's be fair, because when we were on that good run back in October and November, and Dyer came off that excellent game against Manchester City, we were all thinking that this was his moment to be growing into that new role, right? Now,
Nope.
he's fallen off a cliff, but he built up a certain amount of credit with Jose. And you know what, Jose, from what I can tell, he's old school. So he believes in seniority, and he with the younger players, he probably wants them to work harder for their opportunities. I don't really think that is the right thing to do, but I can understand why he would do that. And if he really does believe that Tanganga is best suited to right back, whether it's because of his height or because of his skill set or whatnot, that's tough. He's been third on that depth chart all year. And let's not forget he's had his his share of injury problems as well. He kind of separated his shoulder there in Europa, and we really don't know everything that goes on. But yeah, I don't know. What about some of our on loan players? What about Juan Foyth and Ryan Sessegnon? Where do you guys see them fitting into the puzzle here?
So when it comes to Sessegnon, I honestly see, if you could get Sessegnon and Reguilon left back and left wing back, they can both interchange whenever they need because they can both play there. But the pace that goes down that wing straight away, will be mind blowing.
Electrifying.
It'll
Yeah.
be unstoppable. But I love you. I love One Voice. I really think he's a real player, and we haven't. And the thing that I actually saw him as well is he could be another makeshift for a centre defender, like a defensive central midfielder. He could be with Højbjerg and Skip, or Skip and him. We played him in about 5 different positions at Tottenham. He has not had one place. But I think his contract's up at the end of the season anyway, so I think he's going to Villarreal. Or no, Villarreal have got like a 14 million option to buy, I think. So I really hope we keep Voice.
He's really become a mainstay in that Villarreal side, and he's even been playing some center back for them as well.
He's a great player. I think he's got real potential. I think
it would be just imagine having Tanganga and Foyth both able to play fullback and center back. Those the options that you would have for when you have injuries or when players fall out of form. I think there's something to be said for having that utility.
I don't think he's going to stay, though. I don't think he's going to stay.
Has he worked out a lot of his mistakes that he had? Because he was fairly known with us to make a blunder.
Yes, because you just played in so many positions. When you got, like I say, with the defence being so imperative and so important, you have to have a position and have a run at that position. Not just, oh, you're going here, then you're going here, then you go. It's very good to get used to these positions. But when you look at it, and just talking about going away from the defence right now, if you have a look at the potential youth coming through right now for Tottenham Hotspur, we have got a gold mine coming through. You've got Dane Scarlett, Alfie Devine, Sessegnon, Skip, Foyth maybe, Tanganga, Roden, Troy Parrott,
Dennis Sirkin.
You've got the guy, what's his name? The guy we signed from Chelsea youth, I can't remember his name now.
Lavinier.
Thank you,
Marcel,
Marcelo.
Yeah.
So if you look at it right now, for once, I mean, we've had like the Harry Kanes come through. All right, Harry Winks came through, but right now, like the class of '92, not saying they're going to be at that, nowhere near that, but if you have a look at that youth coming through, there is a gold mine coming through.
Ryan,
with potential.
Who deserves credit for the state of our academy?
Well,
that's a good. Cody, you sneaky son of a
So no, it's not that, man. It's not that. Don't get me. Listen.
No, it's just it's a simple question.
I'm trying to remember the name of the guy. He left to go to the FA. He's been our youth coach for, what's his bloody name? For years and years and years and years. I'll go on the internet in a second and find it. But we've had a guy who's been in charge of our youth for about 15, 16 years that's been bringing them through. He's got a huge part to play in it. Also, what you've got to remember, we had the late, great Ugo Ekiog that was working with the youth and bringing real people through. Before that, we had after that, we had Scott Parker doing his bits for the youth.
Yeah. Do you think that some of these youth products are far enough advanced that they could be part of a team that is built around Harry Kane and Heung-min Son?
So I think Dane Scarlett is the next Michael Owen. I've got on record saying that many a time. In fact, I think he's going to be better than Michael Owen. He's on the same career path. I honestly think this guy is on that level.
Wow. Did you guys see that tweet where they blended Mbappe and Holland's face and you get Dane Scarlett?
Yeah, it's true, man. I'm telling you, bro. Dane Pape is real, man.
But like I keep saying, the one I'm telling you now, and I think Dane Scarlett is that good. Alfie Devine is going to be better.
Yeah, Alfie Devine. Yeah, Alfie Devine looks like he's a baller, man. I will say this about Spurs is, I think the next generation. I think this is after Son Kane. I think we actually have some good hands. Some good players coming in. We're in good hands with some of these players. I think in a couple of years, maybe 2-3 years, I think Skip is going to be a a world-class player. Honestly,
yep.
Maybe when I think people are jumping the gun with Skip. I hope we don't put too much pressure on him. But next season,
John McDermott's just gone to the FA. He's the one that's been with the youth for about 15, 16 years. If you read up about him, he's been incredible. Sorry, Marcel, I just found the name. Back over to you, buddy.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I just think, with Skip, I think next year he'll be served better as a squad player, player we bring in case, to rotate with Højbjerg, or we can give him another loan. I wouldn't mind that. I think with Sessegnon, I think he does need to to start playing for Spurs a little bit more. I think we're going to need to rotate Reguilon and Sessegnon quite a bit because of their just high intensity. But I mean, just thinking about those names, and then in a couple of years' time, and 2-3 years, you can see Dane Scarlett start popping in the scene. Alfie Devine, I'm pretty sure in 2-3 years he's going to start being the first team as well. I think we got some good players, man. I think we do. And hopefully this is the plan, because I think, and I know you're going to go crazy, Brian, but I just want to hope that this is Levy's plan, where he's trying to create a academy that is good enough to produce first team players, so we can either sell for lots of money and get players in, or keep like a Harry Kane and have them become a mainstay, and actually try to build a proper team with that without spending loads of money. I just hope that that's his plan.
And before we go on, I want to bring in one more guest, Jason. He's from South Florida. He's got really good opinions on defense too. So Jason.
Hey Jason.
Hey guys.
Welcome to the show.
So, yeah, but all I was going to say on that was, if that is Daniel Levy's plan, the thing I asked for him to do is communicate and come out and say, listen, we have got such great youth right now. Now, if we have got such great youth, that means technically the money we could be saving with the players coming through, you should have the money to go and buy that one centre back out of all those ones we've been talking about. You can't just say, here you go. Don't get me wrong, the class of 92 will never be done again. You can't just put 5 youngsters in, but they had Roy Keane, Steve Bruce, Eric Cantona. They had some big players and big characters there. If Daniel Levy says, do you know what, I see all the players we've just mentioned 2-3 years being in the Spurs squad, then go out and buy that centre back. Go and buy that 21, 22, 23-year-old centre back, spend 40, 50 mil, and then I'm happy.
So, Brian,
just
before we, I just wanted to say, I was watching We Are Tottenham TV, and they did like a squad review where they put each player into like a tier, and it was elite, class, good, squad player, and sell. And honestly, when you look at the combination of players that we have right now, whether they're at the club or on loan, if we brought in an elite center back, that alone could possibly transform this club. We are right. It's hard when we play like the way we do at times this season. It's been a difficult season to kind of stomach, but that top level center back has to be the number one priority, because it could literally transform us from that middling 5th, 6th side into Champions League regular.
Can I ask a question, Brian?
Of course you can, sir.
Who do you trust to manage the youth that's coming through? Because we have some tremendous youth coming through. Do you trust that in Mourinho, or would you prefer to see another manager who has basically a history of working with youth, like say a Brendan Rodgers?
So I've when it comes to Mourinho, I have flip-flopped so many times since we've had him, Jason, so many times. But I came to the realization, not just because of my hatred for him, as you probably have heard me on many things. I have been for a while Daniel Levy out, and it's just got a bit boring repeating the managers, going through the same cycles. Now, I honestly think if Jose, and I think I said it on the show last week, if we just went out and bought one centre back next season, like in the close season, and bought a world-class centre back, and that was the one player we bought, I'd be more than happy. If Jose has the remit to say, right, I'm going to buy you the centre back you've been banging on about, even in your Man U days, he was banging on about a centre back. I'm going to give you this guy you want. I'm going to spend the money, but you have to breed these people in. I think Jose has the potential to do it. If it was another manager to come in, and I've said this for the last couple of years, I want Ten Hag from Ajax, because he is the exact person with the exact background of being able to either bring these players in to get a profit, or bring these players in. This guy, if you just pretend we woke up tomorrow and Mourinho had gone. Not saying it's going to happen, not saying I want it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The only manager I would want right here, right now, and I would bend over backwards to get it, is get Ten Hag out of Ajax, because also the connections he will have at Ajax and the players to bring in. I think the next Spurs manager, regardless of how long Mourinho stays, has to be Ten Hag.
I think that is the decision that needs to be made with this franchise, as far as how they want to build this team, because we all know that bringing in Mourinho, you have to buy players.
Correct.
But we've been traditionally a team that's been built through the academy. And we can't just throw away the academy, okay? Because it looks like we have some really good, tremendous young players. So I agree with you with a Tim Hogg. Even I'm not so sure on Nagelsmann, as everybody's like been tooting his horn, but I would have preferred either. There's only two managers in my book that I think that can handle the academy players. It's just either Tim Hogg or Brendan Rodgers. Those are the only two that I think that can literally bring those young guys like the Dane Scarlett.
Yep.
You know, even when we get Skip back and all those other players, that's the only person that I think that would actually give them a run of games to where they can, you know, be incorporated into the team. Who knows? I mean, I would actually trust one of those guys to steward our young center back Rodin, you know, before I trust Mourinho than anybody else, because Mourinho will tell you to go buy one. I've yet to see Mourinho develop a center back. You know what I'm saying?
Developed
Terry.
Varane. John Terry
Terry.
and Varane. I would say he developed them.
Well, John Terry, you can't really say developed. He was in Chelsea Spurs. He just put it forward. But no,
Hold on a second. Hold on. Listen, I'm Mourinho out, right? But you got to give credit where credit is due, dog. You know, like to say, well, John Terry would have just flourished. You can say that for any manager. I mean, like it's like saying, you know, about Sir Alex Ferguson. Well, you know, Beckham would have flourished regardless, or you know.
I'll give you that. I'll concede to that. Okay.
But also, you got to remember with John Terry. Don't get me wrong, he came through Chelsea's youth, and John Terry was made by Mourinho. But what Mourinho did is have the money to go buy a Carvalho.
Yeah.
Right next to him to say, right, here you go. You're already a big dominating future England captain, going to be one of the world's best. But I'm going to give you an already established elite rock of a centre back for you to learn off. So,
which 100% helped Terry's with his development.
Yeah.
And also, I think if you watch John Terry, he also spoke about Mourinho's mentality and how he just fed off that. So I think he definitely developed John Terry and Varane. But I will say this. I think over the years, Mourinho's and his ability to develop players has diminished. I think over the years, his because you got to understand, rebuilding a squad, in my opinion, requires a lot of energy and a lot of, you know, I hate saying the word youth, you know, because, you know, you can be energized when you're, you know, even when you're, you know, older. But it's about, you know, having that fire in you. And Mourinho from Porto, Mourinho in Chelsea, Mourinho, you know, in Inter was a man out there to prove something. But then when you see him speak right now, you know, it's just like, I've already proven everything. You know, he just walks with that attitude. Yep. And that's not the energy you want to see, in my opinion, from a guy that you know, you're going to trust rebuilding. Now, when we bought Mourinho, obviously, I'm not going to lie, I was so big on it. I could not wait. I loved the idea. But then as soon as I keep seeing the season unfold, I'm starting to hate the idea more and more. And it's less to do with Mourinho and more to do with this board, because this board and Mourinho does not match. You know, I heard people saying, oh, we need to get Conte or Allegri. I'm like, are you off your mind? Allegri is going to ask for world-class players, which Levy will never deliver on. You know, Conte is complaining in Inter about not having, you know, enough signings when he got Christian Eriksen, Hakimi, like did he get Barella or was Barella?
Lukaku.
Yeah, he got like Lukaku,
Sanchez.
Sanchez.
He has Lukaku on the team, Sanchez.
He got so many players, you know, like and you know, imagine
competition to win Serie A.
Yeah, like I mean, like imagine complaining about not having, you know, enough signings when you're getting those. And then, you know, here in Tottenham, where, you know, Levy will be like, you know, hey, maybe we could get, you know, Nkudu for you for like $5 million, you know? So good luck.
Center back of choice.
I just gave Brian some flashbacks.
Before we go into the center back of choice, I've got a hot take question that I want to ask you guys. So seeing that we are short on left-footed players, do we potentially keep Davies in as a left-sided center back substitute?
Well, listen, I know that there's a lot of people that want us to sell Ben Davies on, but there's one guy that you can't ever question his attitude and his application. That guy puts in 100% every time. And really, I think he's played pretty good this year, except for when he's been overplayed. And that's when we've seen the worst of him. We can't have world-class players as backups in every position, in many positions. We're just not that type of club. We've got Reguilon. Davies is content to play when he's called upon. He's good for the cup matches. He's good as an injury replacement. I think he's got value.
Zagreb, bro.
And the thing is, what is he worth if we try and sell him, man? Right?
I don't want to ever see. I don't want Davies.
Cody.
I don't want Davies to ever play left back again. I wouldn't mind keeping him as a backup to say like a Botman or something, a left-sided center back. If it's true that Jose wants to play like a 3 at the back type of formation, a 3-5-2, 3-4-3, and you needed another left-sided center back, I think he does okay there. Right? I don't think that I've necessarily seen him ever get completely beat up at the left side of a back three, right?
Yeah, but
I don't want to ever see him
want to play.
Back
they want to be first choice, right? We're talking
about coming in.
This is not like a debate as to whether or not he should be starting over Reguilon or something. This is your second choice left back, right? So he's not going to be walking on to most of your Premier League.
So what do we do with Sessignon?
Squads. Oh,
that's
so listen. As soon as Ben Davies, look, I'm sorry, Cody, I love you, dog. But as soon as Sessignon comes back, the only shirt I want to see Ben Davies playing in is if it's for Welsh. For Wales, like I'd never want to see him play for Tottenham Hotspurs ever again. He's been one of my least favorite players, and the last, 2 to 3 years or so. I will say this: he had a decent 17 season, 17, 18. He was all right. I think that's when Danny Rose got injured and he kind of filled in. I thought he did a decent job, but listen, he is so beyond average, right? That it pains me. And he's getting worse and worse each season, and he's getting to a point where every performance is below average.
Marcelo, in the context of the general defense, our backup left back is not anywhere close to the top priority in my mind. Not anywhere close.
No, I agree, but we got Sessignon coming back. So in my opinion,
I have heard Sessignon's loan is kind of fizzled out a little bit. He got hurt.
Thank you. Marcelo, can I ask a question? So you think Sessignon is good enough to play left back?
Backup? 100%.
Because he's one of those tweeners. He could be a left back or he could be a left wing back.
I'd rather see him than.
I'd rather see him. Listen, I have been saying this. I would rather take a chance at Dennis Sirkin than Davies. In my opinion, right? If you look at Davies' stats and you go watch his games, he does absolutely nothing. He offers nothing to the team. He doesn't have creative passing. And I know you're gonna say, oh, he's just a backup. He's just a backup, right? But even in your backups, you want him to at least give something to the team. Something new, something different. Maybe you're not expecting him to be the world beater. You're not expecting him to be an all-around fullback, right? But he's got to give something. Davies passing below average. He played Liverpool. He had a 30% pass rate, the lowest in anybody. 30%. His passing rate is below average. It's shocking. It's literally lower than some championship. We can honestly get a player in the championship as a backup who would play for us a backup and could do a better job. His duels are awful. He doesn't have any dribbling ability. He doesn't have any flair. His crosses are woeful. He can't, I guess the best thing you can say for him is he's got a decent shot in him. Sometimes, I remember, his shooting is, it's actually all right. It's actually kind of better than Reguilon, I would say.
I'm not dismissing you at all. I believe, I agree with you.
I can admit watching Ben Davies with 20 yards space in front of him and make a sideways or a backwards pass makes me want to tear what little hair I have left on my head out. But there's probably 6 or 7 players that I would sell before I went to sell Ben Davies in this squad right now.
I think he stayed with, well, in my opinion, right? I'm getting to a point where the first players I want to sell are the players that have already overstayed their welcome. Because in my opinion, these are the players that are poisoning this club. You know, the Sissokos, the Ben Davies. Not that Ben Davies has a bad attitude, right? He seems like an actual pretty decent guy, but he's just not good enough. And these guys, when you look at Arsenal, right, they're overstaying their stay. It kind of builds an attitude around the club that, oh, I don't really need to do that much. I can stay in the club. You know what I mean? Or like, it just doesn't build that. You need players that are hungry, ready to go. You need players that maybe even if they're not good enough, they're still trying to be good enough. Ben Davies literally looked at his FIFA card, saw a 79 rating and said, that's actually pretty decent. And walked off. He's happy to be where he's at. And that's what I don't want that. I don't want that in my team. I want a guy that whether he's a backup or not, he wants to play for Tottenham Hotspurs and he wants to start for Tottenham Hotspurs. Because that's what, you know what? That's what's going to push Reguilon. That's what's going to push guys like Højbjerg. That's what's going to push other players. You know, you saw Aurier when Doherty was a, you know, quote unquote threat. You saw how well Aurier played. And then you saw Doherty was shit and, you know, he dropped his performance. But that's what you need from a team. Guys start pushing each other.
If that's the mantra, you have to replace like 17 players on this squad.
Yeah, we do. But we do.
Well, I can agree. I can say 10. 10.
So in defense of Cody, the thing is, when you look at it with Ben Davies, like Will said, he can play at centre back as well. And Sessegnon, I see next season he can either be a left wing back or left back to cover Reguilon when he needs a rest, or if Son gets injured or we need a rest, he is a left midfielder. He can play at left midfield. So I see him potentially being two positions next season. And if, let's say, a Son or a Reguilon get injured, and Sessegnon has to fill out one of them, to have Ben Davies there as a backup, either at centre back, like I said, he's not. Don't get me wrong. And I'm sure Cody agrees. He exactly. He does not get into the first 11 when fit. When everyone's fit, he's not in the first 11. At a push on the bench.
Yeah.
But if we've got Sessegnon, I still don't see him as a left back. I see him as a left midfielder, and I see that he just lost a hell of a lot of confidence last season from his move to Fulham. Then Jose did his. I don't see him as a left midfielder. I see him as a left wing back, even though we don't play wing backs. So he's got him there, and that's why he went to Hoffenheim. But next season or the next couple of seasons, I can honestly see him being a huge utility player down the left-hand side, full stop, because he has pace. If Reguilon's out, he covers Reguilon's pace. If Son's out, he covers Son's pace. So if he's doing that,
I agree.
And then we get one of them get injured, and a centre back gets injured, you got Ben Davies who can cover either. So that's the only reason I think Ben Davies for at least another season.
We just have.
Bro, I'm just gonna
As
say
long as
this.
he's playing center back, I'm okay with that. I don't want to ever see him play on the left back again. No.
I just don't think that we've gotten that left wing back or that left midfielder correct. All we've ever had was Son. I mean, we've tried Nkudu, that hasn't worked. Let's go down the
list. Don't forget Ng.
Yeah, we've tried all these type of players and just have not gotten. The board has not gotten it right on that left side. We've had no backup this Son. I mean, you're literally banking on, and like I said, he's a tweener. You don't know if Sessegnon is going to play that wing back, that left mid, or that left back. You just don't know because
you need for a squad player, though.
Yeah, well, what did he play at Fulham? He was kind of that tweener.
Listen, I'll say this: he's been playing left wing back. Mid. He's been playing left wing back and left back mostly for Hoffenheim. He did make a couple appearances at left mid, but I'll say this, from what I've heard and from what I've seen, the couple of games I have seen, he has looked phenomenal. So, he's a guy that, in my opinion, compared to Ben Davies, I feel like with Ben Davies, there is no option with Ben Davies. He's so limited and so boring and so shit that it's like it's almost like, we got to play Ben Davies.
You're also forgetting a major issue. And we can't rule this out over the next 2 years. If Madrid come in and say, right, here's 40 whatever million the release clause is, and we accept it, don't get me wrong, Reguilon has the right to say, no, I'm not coming, I love it at Tottenham. But for this window, this summer and the next summer, if Real Madrid come in and say, here's 40 whatever it is million,
here's the buyback, we want him back.
And then you're like, okay. So then you get rid of him, and then you've only got Sessegnon at left back.
If I'm going to be honest with you, I don't assume that Reguilon's going to be back next season. Just to be honest with you, I literally do not assume that he's going to be back.
Romano said that they're not going to trigger it this summer.
Yeah.
I don't see them triggering it this year because they've got Ferland Mendy on that left side, and
Only that Zinedine Zidane hates Reguilon for some reason.
I think Reguilon.
He said he'd never play.
I think he banged Zidane's son's girlfriend. I think that's what happened. But listen,
if you're going to do it, Zidane's son. That's balls.
There's a lot of for some reason Zidane and these younger players, because it's the same question that they're asking about Odegaard down there in Arsenal. How in the world did Real Madrid let Odegaard leave? You know what I'm saying?
Well, he's only a loan. He's going to come back to Madrid.
I know that's what I'm saying. It's a loan, but
there is not even a buy option. It's literally just a straight up loan. So it's not like with Reguilon. Reguilon, I think, is going to stay. I think as long as Zidane is Real Madrid's manager, he's never going back. He loves Marcelo. He loves Mendy too much. And I know. And now hearing that, I never heard about that, but now I definitely confirms that he's not coming back. But
I heard that there was some beef between.
If Reguilon plays out of his mind here in the next 2 years, they might just buy him back so that they can sell him again, right?
Yeah. But I will say this: Real Madrid is not looking for a left back. Trust me, Real Madrid right now. They're frying bigger fish. As much as I love Reguilon and I think he's great, Real Madrid is looking for the Mbappes and the Holland right now. That's who they need. That's their focus. They're not really focusing on left back. They're not focusing on that position. They're focusing on a big star signing that they can make to replace Ronaldo. They don't have the money. So I don't see them spending 40-odd million. Yeah, 45 million on Reguilon when Zidane already doesn't want him. So it just doesn't make sense. But
I think he's only worth like 27 million right now on the transfer market, Reguilon. Yeah. So why would you pay 45 million over the price? And two, Reguilon has to agree to it. And I don't think he's going back there if Zidane's there. So
yeah, even if we do end up losing Reguilon, 40 million is a lot to spend on a left back. So you got to think that we would be looking for a pretty decent replacement.
You've got, and I'm not saying this because of my agenda.
I know, Brian. I know what you're saying. They're not going to spend the 40 million.
Yeah, we just won't. We will not spend 40 million on it. We won't. It just
let's just agree he's going to stay. Okay, he's going to stay.
But as I was saying about Reguilon and Cess. I think it's just better to have them too, because I think with Sessegnon, it also can add something where if we need to play a left wing back, we need to play three at the back. I would rather play Cess as a left wing back than Reguilon, in my opinion. I think Reguilon plays better in the back four, while Cess, from what I've seen at Hoffenheim, he plays better, as just a left wing back that goes bombing down the wing. So I think he adds an option compared to Davies, and this is who we need to start getting in our team. People that add options, not passengers, not none of that. Oh, he passes sideways and he does nothing all day. Mr. Consistent Winks. This is what people kept saying for him about years, and then now they finally had enough. I'm telling you, no more, none of that. Hungry players that are looking to actually play football. This is who we need in this football club.
Do you think there's a thing to players playing, especially your average players, doing a little bit better coming off the bench than starting? So for instance, I think Lamela coming off the bench is really good.
Yeah.
Sorry, did I just hear that right, Will?
Yeah. I've always said that.
He's always said
about Lamela.
Yeah, I've always Lamela coming off the bench is good. Lamela starting a match gets me riled up like nothing else, right? And I think Davies has done okay too, coming off the bench.
Can I ask you, did you see the report of the listed quote 10 players that they want to get rid of this season at the end of the season?
Who? Spurs.
No? Yes.
Getting rid of 10 players.
This is the 10 players that they want to get that they're looking to move on. Danny Rose, Serge Aurier, Juan Foyt, Cameron Carter-Vickers. That's the defenders.
How is he still here?
He's 85 years old. He's been around for so long.
Rose and CCV are both out of contract, so.
Vinks, Sissoko. Question about Dele Alli and maybe Eric Lamela.
I think
Carter Vickers, Cameron Carter Vickers. I read a report that they're talking about they're going to extend this contract, but probably sell him.
Why?
They're gonna exercise the option. He has an option for an extra year. They're gonna
they can sell him.
They can sell him.
Apparently, he's doing quite well in Bournemouth since the turn of the year.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he can't even get it back into the U.S. men's national team. So, regardless of the fact that he's, one of ours, technically,
Yeah. So
he's not.
But my point is that of the 10 players that I mentioned, nobody mentioned Ben Davis.
Fair enough. I mean, look, listen. If Ben Davies has to stay for another season, he stays, man. But honestly, if you had it my way, and only my way, I would get rid of about 12 players. 12 players, and Ben Davies is in that list. He is in that list, and I'll be getting hungry players. We need some hungry. In my opinion, this squad is. Although I do think it's very important for us to get a first starting 11 that will play consistently. I think we also need to start getting rid of these bodies, man. Just getting rid of these bodies that are just eating wages. Sick of it. Sick of just seeing Sissoko just play and say, oh, he's a good squad player. Seeing Wank, he's one of our own. He plays for this, passes the ball sideways. He's a good squad player. Gets a yellow card, very important. I'm just tired of hearing that word, squad player. If you say that word, honestly, if someone just says the word squad player, I might just I might just lose it because I'm so sick and tired of Tottenham fans just saying he's a good squad player. It's starting getting to Brian's point where you just say the word Levy and he just goes insane. If I hear the word squad player, I am going to lose my mind. I'm
It's like
so
me and
sick
work
and tired
ethic.
of it.
Right.
Yeah, it's like me and work ethic. I hate that word.
But Marcelo, our issue is not that we identify the players that we need to get rid of. The problem is who's buying them. That's the whole issue. Who's buying them? And especially Levy's going to ask, obviously, more than what the hell they're freaking worth. So who the fuck is buying them? Seriously. Real question.
We're fucked. We're fucked. Look, listen, we're fucked. Listen, boys, we're in potentially, unless this board starts acting up, which I doubt they will, unless they start actually doing their job and, fans stop excusing them, like saying, oh, but we have to sell to buy, so we can't buy any players. Oh, Levy has such a tough job. Oh, look, he built a new stadium. Oh, Steve Hitchen, he can't do January windows. He hates it. Unless fans stop buying into that shit and buying into these shit excuses and actually start demanding this board to actually do their job. Literally, just their
Marcelo,
job. What they get paid for.
I am not Enoch in and I am not Enoch out. I am Enoch spend, Enoch invest, because this is kind of like the last dance here for the nucleus of Kane and Son to be built around. If we don't do that, if we're getting rid of Mourinho, I think we're probably losing Harry Kane. We're probably losing Heung-min Son, and we're looking at a full-scale rebuild, which would probably put us at least a year behind where Arsenal are right now.
Which do you trust Enoch to do? Because honestly, man, I looking at I've been very depressed. I'm not gonna lie, looking at this club and just thinking about the future and under Enoch's hand and especially with how things are going with Mourinho, I've been getting very sad and I want to be Marcelo the hype man, but every time I start thinking about the future of Tottenham Hotspurs, although there's some glimmer of light, there's so many things that this board can do that they can easily fuck up. And if they continue, they're already doing things that are hurting the club. And if they continue to do it and fans continue to allow it, we are going to enter a dark zone. We're going to enter a dark age, man. I'm telling you, it's going to get dark. You think this is dark? You think losing to Dynamo is dark? Trust me, there's darker than this, man. There's I wasn't around, but I'm sure Brian can testify. The 90s was a pretty dark time.
Yeah. I mean, Cody, I can tell you right now, if we lose Kane and we lose Son, let's just say in the same summer, there won't be a full-scale rebuild. I'm telling you, back home, there will be a full-scale riot. That will be, and I'm not joking, it will literally, back home, that will be the end of it. Tottenham fans will not.
I don't think it's going to happen personally. I think Harry Kane is not going anywhere this summer, and the same for Sonny, whether they sign contract extensions or not. but I can't tell you what we're going to be in 5 years. That's for sure. It's really difficult. We're at a crossroads. We're at a very important time in this development of our club. We're right on the cusp of being right up there with the big hitters, and it's a question of whether or not we're going to take that last step, or are we going to kind of fall back down the mountain a little bit here. And obviously, we all want to take the next step. But before we go,
Cody, we were in the cusp. We were in the cusp of being up there with the big hitters. Not anymore. We're in a time where we need to rebuild. We had that chance with Pochettino, and they did not do it. That was their chance.
That chance with Redknapp. We had that chance with Joel.
I think.
But if we invested around Kane and Son right now, I wouldn't consider that a rebuild. I would just consider that building. So if you're talking about a rebuild, to me, that term means we're selling Kane and we're selling Son. But let's not get into like the whole Enoch in, Enoch out thing, because that it's past my bedtime. But what I want to know is what do you guys think about Dele Alli?
Goodbye.
You know what? Somebody needs to light a match under his ass, to be honest with you. Somebody needs to reignite that spark, because personally, I think the kid is there's a world-class player in there somewhere. You just don't have what he has for 2 or 3 seasons, and then it just disappears. It didn't just disappear like that. It's there. He's just lacking some motivation. Something is just splashed put that fire out in him. There's something, and right now there isn't a manager. Pochettino lost it. Mourinho can't get it. Nobody can seem to motivate him. Maybe he needs to change the scenery. I don't know, but for whatever reason, what I see, and I guess a lot of people, you guys might understand this, the dude, there's people that have a passion for the game that will sit there and give their all for the game, regardless of whether they're getting paid or not. And then there's people that just play that they're talented and they give you just as much as they can, just to the point of where they can make it. And then the work ethic just completely goes away from them. And I think that, and I hate to lean towards that way, but I feel that Dele Alli is that player. Like coming up, going through the lower leagues or whatever, being at MK Dons, he played his ass off. He got his first couple seasons in Spurs. He played his ass off. Then he got that big contract, and then it's similar. Will know what I'm talking about when I say this is similar to NBA players. You know what I'm saying? When I say it's kind of like the NBA player, the guy that's kind of hungry. I know folks in the USA can relate to this when it comes to NFL players or NBA players. That you like these guys that play their ass off when they have that really shit contract, and then they get that massive contract, and then whatever happened, that drive is completely gone. And
Jason,
they start going to bars, getting in trouble, beating their wives, all kinds of stuff, right?
So there's
for the NBA and NFL is what I'm saying.
There's a historically successful golfer. This is going back to like the 1930s and 40s, whose name is Byron Nelson, Hall of Famer. And what happened with him was he had a dream, and that dream was to own a ranch. And he went on the longest winning streak to this day in PGA Tour history. He won 11 straight PGA Tour events. And as soon as he got to the point where he could afford that ranch, that was basically the end of his playing career. So I totally get what you're saying about Dele Alli. For me, I think he's a guy who's lived off talent his entire career, and he's never really had that work ethic. And talent can only take you so far without the work ethic, and once you get caught and overtaken by the field because they're working harder than you are, it becomes even that much more difficult to make up that ground. And I think that Dele Alli is kind of past it, and it's going to take him getting sold for him to realize that, the game does not owe him anything. He's got to work his ass off. So I think before Dele Alli's value completely craters, we need to sell him on.
But I think it already has, right? Like if we were to get 40-45 million for him, I'd say okay. Right? Yeah,
that's a lot to get for a player. Will that's a lot to get for a player.
Only offering 20.
I'd bite your hand off. And the thing is that the easiest way to relate to it with Dele Alli, and I agree, he's got to go now. Is listen, we've all had roles in our lives, and everyone else in our lives, not a football player, where we've had a manager we don't like. or something's not going right in our professional career.
Yeah.
Now you look at it one of two ways. You either go, right, I need out of here, I don't like this, I'm going to look elsewhere. Or you say, do you know what? I'm going to prove this manager wrong and show him what I've got, and you up your game by 25, 50%.
Yep.
And then you look at it and you look at people. He was out there first in his role, first name on the Tottenham team sheet and England. Now you have people like James Maddison, Mason Mount, and other players from other clubs coming in, Jack Grealish. And you're like, 2-3 years ago, I was the number one youngster in Europe in this position. I was touted by everywhere. And all of a sudden, it's gone Pete Tong. It's all gone wrong. So he came to a crossroad where probably for the first time in his life, because at MK Dons, he was like the man of the league. This is probably the first part of his career where he's had to show his mentality, his attitude, his application. And he has flunked big time. And this is going to scar him for the rest of his career. Wherever he goes, he's going to be known as a prima donna. He's going to be known. This is where he should have said, you know what, it's the Euros coming up. It's a World Cup the year after. I'm Dele Alli. I'm the man. I'm going to show you guys what I could do.
He's still the boy. He never became the man. Right. He's still the boy.
Exactly.
It's hard to get up and run when you're been sleeping in silk pajamas, as Marvin Hagler said. You don't
want to end up being the next George Best, right?
Yeah. He thought he made it. He thought he had it, and he didn't, man.
He believed the hype.
Yeah. People. I see some people, comparing it to like, the Ronaldinho case where, but I mean, like, I'm like, you guys are crazy. Like he was a baller. You know what I mean? He actually did it. He actually did everything. He won everything. Dele Alli has done shit for us. I don't get this whole thing with this team, or this fan base defending this team so much, or some of these players so much, like Dele Alli, who has been absolutely done nothing to contribute this team for the past 2 years. Done absolutely, other than some flicks and tricks here there. Yes, that bicycle kick, we all loved it. I loved it. I screamed when he scored that. It was a fantastic goal. But then you have to wake up and remember it was Wolfsberger. All right.
Yep.
It was Wolfsberger. So as fantastic as he can be sometimes, he has not added enough in this squad in the last 2 years. And I don't care about his age. His mentality is terrible. And if he's talking about that he does not want to leave, or no, that he does not like it here and that he wants to leave, he can leave. I'm not going to keep a player that don't want to add anything to this team. I'm sorry. Goodbye.
I can give you a comparable, a player that you can literally say, you should look at this player, and that's what I would have thought Dele Alli would have been. Go look at Jesse Lingard. From the minute he went to West Ham on loan, he's been on fire. And then he actually got an England call up for freaking 4 weeks of play. 4 weeks
That's
of freaking
a great shout. A great shout.
Like Dele Alli needs to literally go and watch Jesse Lingard, who was not getting any match time with Manchester United until and then he went out on loan on West Ham. And the only game West Ham has lost, is to Manchester United because Lingard could not play because he belongs to Manchester United. But since then, he's made them look like a completely different team, and they are a serious top 4 contender for Europe.
I disagree. I think first off, West Ham been great throughout the whole season, and they've been good. Yes, Jesse Lingard has put in some good performances, right? But I mean, come on now. Like the guy, this is knee jerk, man. The guy hasn't, he went from, not scoring 1 goal all year. And then, he goes with the West Ham, a club with less expectations, a club that, isn't as big, a club, with less fans, like this bed. I'm telling you, this badge weighs more, man. It's like what Brian said it. When Doherty went to, Wolves, it's different. It's different playing Wolves than playing for Tottenham Hotspurs. This badge weighs more. And when Jesse Lingard put that Manchester United badge, it weighed more. And he could not deal with the pressure of being a Manchester United player. And I guarantee you, Jason, I will bet with you. I'll make a bet with you. If Jesse Lingard returns to Manchester United, he will still return to that shit form. He will not be able to No,
Yeah, but
listen. He will
Marcelo,
not be.
At least he's gone. At least he's gone and rolled his sleeves up and said, "Listen, I
Thank
can
you.
show
He
you
went-
what I can
thank you.
do."
Yeah, he went to work.
At West
part
Ham.
on the men,
At West
yeah, but on
Ham.
the,
It doesn't.
yeah, but he's got to.
It doesn't
So you've
matter.
got to look at it. Yeah,
Hey,
a lesser squad.
Harry
There's a lower team.
Redknapp used to get Gareth Bale to practice against the weakest defenders because it would build his confidence. And I don't see anything different than sending Jesse Lingard to a club that values him and gives him the opportunity. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that it's for West Ham.
And Marcelo,
It's entirely possible.
How
I
long
have-
are we gonna wait? Are we gonna
Marcelo-
waste? Are we gonna keep wasting time
But
with Dele Alli now?
But
Like,
Marcelo,
like-
I gotta call you out, Marcelo, because what you just did though was make a comparable. You made a comparison between like Spurs and Man United are on the same level.
no, I never
happened.
said that. But I
No,
never
but
said that.
but you said this. But you said the shirt.
Yeah, this badge weighs more than playing for like a West Ham or like for like a Wolves. Yeah,
But wait,
it does.
But it may. But at our current form, in our current state, okay, where are we sitting at the table compared to West Ham? Where the fuck?
Oh,
would
come
we
on,
sit?
stop it.
No,
Stop it now.
No.
History.
We
This is a bigger club than
They're
West
1
Ham.
point ahead of us.
Thank
They're
you.
1 point ahead of us. They're
And where were
1
we-
point
and where
ahead
were-
of us.
And where were we last season compared to Wolves?
But
Let's
we're
do it.
ahead of them.
How many
How
points
many
did we
points-
take off
how
West
many
Ham this
points?
year?
How many points were we ahead of them? Actually, we were tied. Okay, we had the tiebreaker over Wolves. Okay, we had the tiebreaker over Wolves. Okay,
Yeah, that's fine.
So let's be honest. Yes.
So we're gonna
No,
compare Wolves
do
to
not-
Tottenham now. Is this where we're going?
No. Do not replace 4 years on the Poch and making the Champions League for 4 successful years, successive years over our actual history. Okay, we've historically been a friggin' mid-table team. Historically,
I'm sorry, man. You got to look at
Keep
our
it
history.
apart. No,
First
keep
club,
it apart.
first club to win a European trophy.
It
Like
doesn't- we're
listen,
talking about-
I understand. We had a dark age, but we do have a great history. This badge weighs more than playing for West Ham. I'm sorry, I can't let you speak about my club like this,
I'm
man.
not shitting on the club.
No.
not
Yes,
shitting
you
on
are.
the
You're
club.
shitting on us.
No,
No, you're
no.
comparing us to Wolves. I don't know. No, I'm sorry. I can't. No,
No,
I'm not
and
gonna tolerate that.
No. You said that there was no pressure. Yeah, there is no pressure for Jesse Lingard playing for West Ham. I agree with you. But then saying that, oh well, for Delhi, the weight, the playing for this badge weighed heavy on them. Bullshit. No, it's not.
Yes,
That's
it
just
does.
bull.
Yes,
no.
it is. It is
No.
different. When you
No.
play for a club that is
No.
bigger and
What
that
if-
has
no.
more fans
Let's
and
be
more
honest.
history and
What
higher
have we
expectation,
won?
it
But
does weigh
what
more.
have we
The
won?
pressure weighs
But
more.
what have we won? What have we won?
Lately,
Yeah. That argument
No,
for
lately,
Dele Alli
no.
doesn't hold
you got to
water
admit, like
based
all
on
the
his-
way up into the 70s,
on
we
his
were one of
career
the top clubs
trajectory.
in England, right?
So the
Yeah.
bit
Based
I was
on Dele
trying to
Alli's
say-
career trajectory, that argument doesn't hold water because he
thank
came in
you.
here and he was good immediately and he has gone on the decline. So the badge would have weighed even more when he first came here than it does
Thank
now.
you.
So that doesn't hold water.
So Marcelo, the bit I was trying to say and get across, don't forget the teams they've gone to. What I was trying to say is Jesse Lingard, forget the teams, right? His mentality, he's gone to a lower club. Yes, it's lower expectations than Man U, West Ham. There's no denying that. But he's gone there to say, listen, I'm going to show you what I can do.
Thank you.
He's grabbed that
Yeah.
opportunity. That on that part, he's grabbed the opportunity. Whereas Dele Alli has been given opportunities at Tottenham, and he hasn't grabbed them. I'm not.
think
too- I
think
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. When
He
you say
doesn't-
what badge is bigger, West Ham or Tottenham, I'm completely with you. West Ham,
Yeah.
Tottenham are by far, and I mean by far, a bigger club than West Ham.
Yeah.
But what I'm not speaking about the player. I'm not speaking about the scubs. I'm talking about the mentality. Jesse Lingard saw an opportunity to maybe get into the Euros.
Yeah.
Do you
But-
think,
yeah,
too,
but
that-
listen.
hold on. Let me get a saying. Do you think a little bit of it is about age though? Because there's a big difference in mentality between a 28-year-old and a 24-year-old. I mean, my shift as far as my mentality was concerned growing up as an adult was right around 25, 26. And that's when I started realizing, hey, this is life now, right?
Fair enough. I'll give you that. Well, I'll give you that. I will give you that. So I asked this question. So who is there in Dele's corner to be like, to grab him by the
I don't think he has one.
And that's the problem.
Do you know what he did have? He did have a fit. He did have an Eric Dyer who was bang on form during the Poch era, but obviously we know how that's gone. And
Listen,
honestly, I think Dyer and if Dyer goes, and I think he will this summer, that will be the exit door, and Dele will be gone. I think Dele. If we look at the squad right now, and the players that could potentially go in, Dele Alli is the transfer that's going to generate the most funds.
Absolutely. And why are we still debating about him staying? He
I
doesn't
don't
want to
want him to stay.
stay.
I don't want him
You
to
know,
stay.
like for
I
me,
want him
there's
to
no
go as long
debate.
as we get more than 40 million for him.
Who
I
pays
say
40
get
million?
him out,
Who pays
man.
over
Get
40
him.
million, though?
No, I say
Why would you
get
let him
him
go
out.
for 20 million?
I know you wouldn't let
30
it go
million.
for 20 million, but who's paying?
That's the
40
only
million?
offer on the table right now is PSG for 20 million pounds.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Maybe
saying. I don't necessarily see anybody beating down Spurs' door to go buy Dele Alli for 40 million.
If we can get him
Yeah.
for 30, listen, if we can get him for 30 million, shake their hand, accept that, move on. Just move on. Stop getting attached to these players. Listen, the only two players, right, that I am attached to in this club is Harry Kane and Son.
And
They're the
Højbjerg.
only
And
oh, and
Højbjerg.
Højbjerg. I love Højbjerg.
And Regulon. Don't forget
But
Regulon.
no, listen. I'm
And in
just gonna,
Dombele,
Cody, shout. High five, Cody.
yeah. All right, 5 players. 5 players that I am attached to, right? But when I say like attached to, it's just like these guys are guys, in my opinion, we should just be building around. You know, like Son and Kane is the 2 guys you need to build around. These guys can
Watch.
bring us to greatness.
Those 2 are the ones that are going to go, and we'll keep all this crap because that's how the summer's going to work.
But
guys,
I don't
that's
want
gotta
the
to
go.
jinx
issue.
Past my bedtime. I'm gonna sign off. But
Thank you, Cody.
what I will
You're a great
say,
member
thanks,
of the panel.
Will. I will say that there's never been a worse time to be in the position that we are in as a club, having to move on the number of players that we do, and having the holes that we need to fill, and having the brand new stadium that we can't have people in. It is just classic Tottenham Hotspur that we are in this situation right now. But let's hope that we get a little bit of investment in the summer, and we go through the murky waters and we come out the other end. Champions League is on. Honestly, I know we're here to talk about the defense and everything, but Champions League is on. Chelsea have to lose at some point, so let's go. Let's go.
Cody, all I will say is, as us Jewish people say, from your lips to God's ears, my friend, from your lips to God's ears.
Glory, glory. Okay, boys. Peace.
See you later.
See you
bye-bye.
next time, Cody.
I don't
All
know.
right, now let's
man.
switch it. Now that we're at an hour and a half, right? So we still got a little bit more time, unless people want to jump off too. But what do you guys think about Kane's comments today? I want to ask that before we go. I haven't heard anyone really talk about it today.
I've been working.
Kane has basically come out today, and basically it's come out that he said he's not talking about his future until after the Euros. He wants to focus on Tottenham and the Euros before he comes out with anything. Now, the thing that scares me with that comment is these are the exact words Teddy Sheringham said before Euro 96. The exact words. Not saying that, please God, this doesn't happen. Listen, I think Harry Kane right now is at a huge, huge crossroads in his career. A huge, huge crossroads in his career. And don't get me wrong, we all want him to stay. Do I see him wanting to smash Jimmy Greaves' record? Of course he does. And I reckon if he has a strong end to the season and it's within sight, let's say he could get it in another season, I reckon it's going to have a huge factor to whether, like, if he gets within 30 goals of that target or a decent amount, I can see him staying for one more season. But I also think it's going to come down to if he hears, and I'm not going in on him today. I'm trying my hardest. As you saw, Will, on the show yesterday when you came on Tottenham Away, I'm trying not to. I'm just hoping that I get Levy Tourette's again during this show. It all depends on whether he speaks to Mourinho and speaks to Levy, and he says, right, this season we are doing this, and this. And if he goes out and gets this by a certain time, I think he is Tottenham through and through. And apparently all of his people, after Ornstein came out and said that he's going to leave, said, no, he's staying at Spurs for all his career.
And then he comes out and says, we'll talk about it after the Euros, right? So it's just the back and forth is what's really driving me nuts.
It's like I said, it's Teddy Sheringham.
I feel the ball is for both Mourinho and Kane. The ball is in Daniel Levy's court, to be honest with you. I think Kane is 100% with Mourinho. All in. That's obvious. He's all in. So the question is, does the board and does this ownership give Mourinho what he wants? I mean, Mourinho's CV has proven that if you give him what he wants, he will deliver, regardless of what you think about the football. Let's be honest.
Why can't the players? Why can't like someone like Harry Kane walk into Levy's office and say, "If you don't give us what we need to succeed, I'm out. And if you don't let me go, I'm going to come to practice and train. I'm going to keep all my contract commitments. But as soon as that first whistle blows, I'm going to walk around the pitch."
Because he's smart.
What you got to remember here is, I'm going to go through the door. So Daniel Levy wins either way. Daniel Levy either A, keeps Harry Kane and Spurs go on to do what they do, or Harry Kane is a player that right now, let's be serious, he ain't leaving this club for at least 150 million. At least. Not just because of his value, because of who our chairman is. Now, if Daniel Levy does do this, and I pray to God it doesn't, the signing we sign as the next striker is going to make or break. Like, let's just say it was that. if that happens, there will be another riot in Tottenham.
I agree with
I would be on a plane home.
I agree. I think one of the biggest.
Honestly, I would quite. I'm sorry, Jason.
Have you already picked out on the new stadium where Levy's office is?
I've got a few connections within the club. It'll just be a few. I'll find
which window it is. You can chuck them rocks at it.
I would be a rock, trust me.
I think the biggest issue right now, to be honest with you, so what Brian's point is that the fact that there are, like, right now, they are literally coasting and not really giving a fuck because there's nobody in the stands right now. There's nobody in the stadium. There's nobody like it. Can you imagine? Can we be honest? With this season, with fans in the stands, how the Spurs faithful would literally lose their shit right now if there were fans in the stands with this type of football and this bad football right now, and then the board not really trying to give Jose the tools that he needs. Because I think the whole thing is right. Everybody's kind of like coasting along, like, yeah, okay, whatever. But there's nobody, and just like Brian said, the fans were right. There's nobody in the stands to literally. So Jose Mourinho can get away with the fossil football. You know what I'm saying? The players can kind of coast along, not press, because there's nobody in their ass right now. And I think, I'm hearing August. They're supposed to. I think what are they saying? Next season they're gonna be able to. By the start of next season, they're going to have fans in the stands. It's going to be a very interesting season next season.
Jason, let me tell you this. With this board, you can get a firecracker. You can get a nuclear weapon and, put it up their ass, and it will not light anything. These guys do not care what Tottenham Hotspur's fans care. They don't care what Tottenham, they don't care about Tottenham. They don't care about Tottenham fans. They don't care about anybody.
I get what you're saying. But I get what
they don't. No. Let me. Maybe you don't, man. Because these guys sold. These guys sold Berbatov and Kino at the same time.
Right. Which they did, but at the same time, they'll understand it. The minute you allow fans to come into the stand, they'll fully understand it when fans stop showing up to these games. Okay. When you look at, I mean, you gotta look at Arsenal and some other teams. When fans stop showing up, when they're just like, you know what,
I'm gonna have to interrupt, because I think, knowing Daniel Levy, if fans stop coming to the Tottenham games, he'll just start scheduling more NFL and Lady Gaga concerts. So people are going to come to those regardless.
You got to remember as well, the main thing about this is, it's not going to do. If we sell Kane, Joe Lewis ain't going to give a flying fuck. He's in the Bahamas in a yacht, buying an extension to the yacht, or buying another yacht to put in the yacht, to go in the yacht, to get the lifeboat in the yacht. So it won't mean a damn thing to Joe Lewis. It really, Marcelo's right on that point. Daniel Levy, I've never seen such an emotionless. Every time the Sky cameras look at him, he's just got the same expression like that. He's brought this player through from zero. If they get 150 million for him, all right, minus his wages, that's like what? Let's say 100 million profit for doing fuck all. And then it's like, this is the time. If they go, listen, Jason, if they went out, like we discussed this last week, Marcelo, if they went out and bought Haaland for Haaland's, what's it called, release clause, and said, here you go, here's Haaland. Right now, if you told me we're selling Kane to get Haaland,
I'm all for it. I can accept that. That's a rebuild. That's a proper rebuild. That's a proper
that's a show of intent. But if you go get, like Marcelo said, Chris Wood, which is more probable, then there will be absolute...
Or Ivan Toney. I was going to say, Ivan Toney's good enough. He's good enough to be our starter week in, week out. He'll bag 10 goals a season. Good enough.
I think Ivan Toney's better than 10 goals a season. I've watched him play a lot lately.
Well, I love you, dog, but there is no way Ivan Toney can be Harry Kane's replacement.
No, I'm not saying he's good as Harry Kane, but he's a better than 10 goal a year season striker. I think he's going to end up coming into the Premier League and being a 15 to 18 goals season.
The other thing you got to remember, if we lose Kane, that's another English player that is filling our English quota. So it's like, right, you've got to get another English striker in or an English player in, and all the English players that will be available. You've got to remember there's a Euros this summer, and it's the biggest shop window. So any player that we potentially may have been going for before the window or before the Euros, if they have a good Euros, that's another 15, 20 million on the price tag.
Let me tell you this, Brian. Get good old Danny Ings and Chris Wood up front right there. 15 million combined, 2 English quota, or 1 English quota. That's done and dusted.
I mean, to be honest,
20 million, we can do it.
I mean, to be honest, if we do sell Kane, it's not like we'll have a trouble getting a striker in, because saying Danny Ings, the problem right now is signing a backup striker. Is nobody wants to be back up to Harry Kane. You sell Kane, I don't think we'll have a problem signing a striker, in all honesty.
Yeah, but you got to remember, you sign Danny Ings. Danny Ings gets injured a lot.
Oh, of course.
And he's like not even half the player.
It's not just signing a striker. You have to be able to sign a 20 to 28 goal a season striker.
Yeah.
And what you've got to remember as well is, why the hell are we the only club that has one? Why can't we have 2 strikers? Why is it a striker and a backup striker? We had Keane, Berbatov, Pavlyuchenko, and Darren Bent. All right, that Bent wasn't the best. Pavlyuchenko was just a nutcase. But we had 4 strikers: Cole, York, Sheringham, Solskjaer.
Yeah.
Henry,
Defoe, Crouchy.
Why do we need to have Kane and a backup?
Because
we need Kane.
Because the assumption is, for everybody that they're trying to. The assumption is these players think that they're going to be back up to Kane. Nobody's giving them assurances that, like what we saw against Villa with Kane and Vinicius, nobody's giving them assurances that's going to happen.
So why didn't we go get Callum Wilson from who went to Newcastle?
You didn't want to pay the freaking money. That's why.
But we'll take a loan on Vinicius, who I rate. But the chance is 40 million that we're trying to buy him for.
I agree with you.
Too high.
Callum Wilson wasn't 40 million. So why didn't you go get an English player?
I agree.
But would have played. This is the thing.
Could have had Ivan Toney for half the price of Vinicius.
Or we could have. The thing is, we just need a body. If there's ever a position where we just need a body and a target man, it's striker. I mean, if you remember Llorente, he was practically just a body, a tall dude, long ball, inshallah, he heads it, he gave it to Son, he gave it to Lucas, and we went on from there.
But then
I got a question on Vinicius real quick. Have you guys kind of seen his personality in a lot of the Facebook videos and all that stuff? Yeah. He seems like a pretty soft, shy, kind of introverted dude. Do you think that maybe it's just a little bit of getting used to a new culture, a new language, right? Like he's never not lived in a country that didn't speak Portuguese, right? So looking at him, he looks like a very kind of soft, spoken kind of dude. You know what I mean? And I think, right, that if he comes out of his shell, you could probably see. I see the possibility of a player in there. Right?
No, that's just his personality. Trust me.
No, there's player
listen, there's a lot of Brazilians.
I mean, how do you rate the Portuguese league? I mean, that's championship level, right? And for him to get, do a golden boot there, I mean. Yeah,
no. He is a good player, but trust me, that personality, that's just how he is. Some Brazilians I know, they're just like that. They're soft spoken. They depending where they come from. I don't know exactly where he's from, but I'm gonna guess he comes from humble beginnings. I don't know if you guys remember Rivaldo. He was a soft spoken guy. Never said a single thing in media, but what a player he was. There's a lot of Brazilians.
Has been called up to Brazil at all?
I don't think so.
At any level, like under 23s or.
Not that I remember.
No, because he played he's only been playing
He
in
was
the top
he was
leagues
a
of football
flop.
for like 2 years. He'd been
Yeah.
playing like 5th, 6th divisions and stuff like that before that.
I remember he was a academy player for Palmeiras, which is actually a pretty big Brazilian club, prestigious, got a prestigious academy. I hate them. They're my locals, rival, but they're pretty good. And then he was a flop at Palmeiras. He never made it through to the senior squad, and then he went down to like the 4th division, and he had a really hard time getting back. And then they sold him to Napoli, and then he fell there and back in. He had a first rough career, man. He did not. Honestly, the career that he had, I'm surprised he's made it this far. I want to be honest.
I'm gonna tell you right now that they already have him going back to Benfica on SofaScore.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, they haven't. The thing is that they don't want to pay the 40. What is it, 40 plus for him?
Yeah.
If they can get him cheaper, I think they're going to try to talk him down.
Well, this is the other thing, Jason. You got to remember, if you sell Kane, then every single team across the world, when Tottenham Hotspur going for a striker, then it'll be like, you've just got X amount of millions for selling your striker. That figure we gave you, just add a few mil on top of it. So they really are in a no-win situation. They're in a no-win situation.
There's also a report that's talking about that Spurs could be looking at Philip Coutinho as well.
No, never gonna happen. No, I'm just serious. It's like we never buy the good Brazilians. Rivaldo, Coutinho, Jorginho. We never get the good Brazilians. We never do. I really, who I wanted as a right back option? We could have gotten him for loan, and he's a great prospect. Emerson from Real Betis.
Yeah.
Barcelona is looking to loan him out or even sell him, for the right price. And I was like, why are we going for Matt? I can even bring back my tweets. Listen, man, as far as my prediction this transfer window, I think the only person I got wrong was Bale. And I let nostalgia get the better of me with Bale. I was saying we should get a younger one, but as soon as I saw Bale in that Tottenham Hotspur, shirt again, it was just, just felt right. But like when I was thinking about it, I was like, yep, I said Doherty wasn't going to work out. I was right. And I said we should get Emerson from Real Betis, and I think he could have. That's a ridiculous comment. Can't cut it in England. Listen, we produce some of the best talents in the world. There's a reason why all the richest and the best clubs in the world wants Brazilians and their team. I mean, if you look, I think there's a stat. The last 3, I think either than Bayern Munich, I think the last 10 Champions League winners had 3 Brazilians in their squad.
I think it's a bogus comment too, because Coutinho looked the best in the Premier League. He hasn't looked good since he left, to be honest. So.
Yeah.
Isn't that always happening? Hello, Eden Hazard.
It's just that there's less history between Brazilians and the Premier League. For example, every Brazilian kid, his dream is to play for Real Madrid or Barcelona.
Yep.
That's always been their dream. That's the club. That's where they can become a star. Or back then it was also Italian league like Inter or AC Milan. But I think we're gonna see more of Brazilians in the Premier League, especially as now the Premier League is growing and in Brazil. But as far as Brazil, forget that. Let's talk about Tottenham. I felt like we should have gone for Emerson. And if that loan is still up and available, I think honestly that's not a bad loan. That's not a bad loan for Emerson or even a buy. But I would prefer Max Aarons and a Lamptey over Emerson right now.
So as far as the defense is concerned, that also includes the goalkeeper. We've got a question here from Full Minsk. You have to tell me how to pronounce that last name. It looks just like Minsk to me. So
Minsk, yeah.
He is a top dude. He leaves some very good comments. I love this dude.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Hugo? And before we get into outside options, what have you thought? I've seen some recent videos of Whiteman, or do you think that's the propaganda from the club saying this is who we're going to replace Hugo with?
They again speaking obviously with my knowledge of what goes on back home, don't get me wrong, if it had been a Jordan Henderson who had been touted and who had been proven and had gone out on loans to Premier League teams and shown what they could do, then I could see Whiteman being an option. I really, really could, but he's not done anything. He's not had any minutes, and you can't just say, right, our next goalkeeper is Alfie Whiteman. Don't get me wrong, I don't know a lot about him, but he could be a great keeper to come, but he needs to go out on loan to a Premier League club, have a season, show what we can do. Now, when it comes to that Mike Moynihan or whatever, however, Magian or whatever, I don't know a lot about him. But Nick Pope, we like Marcelo's kept saying, we need players to come in that are Premiership ready. They've been there, seen it, done it, got the team shirt, ate, slept, drunk, everything. And Nick Pope, obviously, you get the English player. Obviously, there's no language barrier. He settles in. Yes, he's from up north or whatever, but he looks like a very, very good goalkeeper. And
Nick
the
Pope.
goalkeeper, especially if we're going to have a young centre back pairing, you need a confident, domineering, established Premier League goalkeeper.
So let me ask you another question about Whiteman. If we had Whiteman this season and he's an English player,
yep,
why was he not getting the time in Europa instead of Joe Hart?
I don't think they really rate him, let's be honest.
So I think Joe Hart also came in. I think Mourinho wanted to surround himself with people that won medals and championships and said, right, listen, this is what I did. This is how I did it. And when Joe Hart, I mean, this is how bad it comes. Joe Hart took a £15,000 a week pay cut from Burnley to join Tottenham Hotspur. 15,000 less at Tottenham.
We left on a free, right? We got him on a free. It's not like they were giving him another contract. So.
But no, I mean, for a guy to take a £15,000 pay cut, don't get me wrong, it's nothing to him. He's made his millions or whatever, and it's the end of his career. But you've got a guy that's won 2 Premier League medals, been England's #1 at World Cups and Euros. We got him in for experience. We got him in for knowledge. We got him in for mentality around the squad, and I think he's done good there. But playing him in goal, I haven't understood it.
I mean, we're just gonna get players for mentality at this point. I mean, why not just get a therapist at this point? You know, like I don't get it. I don't get this whole thing with Mourinho and bring, you know, like just because you bring in winners or former winners doesn't mean you're gonna bring a winning mentality. You know, I think that's ridiculous. You know, I think you need players that are hungry. And
well, I mean,
want
he
to
hasn't done a good job because he should have been going into the dressing room and grabbing Harry Winks by the jewels and squeezing him until his eyeballs popped out and said, "What the heck are you doing?"
First, Will.
Well, they've been saying that our problem has been the mentality. We've had the talent; it's just the mentality.
But the thing is, he's not hungry. That's the thing, Jason. He's not hungry anymore. You know, he's done it. This is what I mean with Jose and a lot of these other guys. Jose is not hungry enough to, in my opinion, work with youngsters and try to build youngsters. He's already in that stage in his career where I've done this, I've done that. Here's my CV. Look at it. Get me this. Get me that. You know, it's like he's already worked for it. He doesn't want to work for it anymore. He just wants to have it. Give him the tools already.
I agree. I mean, that's what I mean. What else did you expect? That's what you brought him for, right? To win these trophies. So
absolutely,
it's
arrogance from the board.
Thank you, because it annoys the shit out of me, because you're like, what did you expect when you brought this manager in? You cannot be a club that says you have a mindset of I want to win trophies, but you don't want to give them, and then you bring a manager that has a CV of winning trophies, but then you don't want to give him the tools that he's worked with, and you're literally trying to tell the leopard to change his spots by saying, I know that every team that you've been with, they've giving you the players that you needed to win whatever you needed. Okay. But we're going to sit here and we're going to say, this is what we have. And these are the youth players. Develop them and figure it out. We're not going to give you this big transfer budget to give you what you need and make it happen. And then
so let me give you an example, Jason. When it comes to the board, if you look at Liverpool went through Gerard Houllier, defensive coach. When it got Rafa Benitez, defensive coach. Same model. Got rid of them, got Roy Hodgson, defensive coach. Then said, you know what, we want to change it. We want to go attacking. Brendan Rodgers. Get rid of Brendan Rodgers, bring on Jurgen Klopp. There is a consistent, right, we're going defensive or we're going attacking. We have gone Yol, Ramos, AVB, Sherwood, Pochettino, Mourinho. We have gone back. Oh, and I missed out Redknapp there as well. So we have literally gone back and forth. There's been no, okay, this is our philosophy and this is what we're going to do moving forward.
I agree. Oh, love it.
It's just been completely. Liverpool said, right, we want to go the defensive route. They hired 3 defensive coaches in a row. Then they said, right, we want to go attacking. You look at Chelsea when they went from Conte to who took over Conte? Lampard. Oh no, there was someone else before Conte. Sorry. Then they went Lampard. Then Lampard. They've gone back. There's no continuation. They keep flipping and flopping, and that's what's happening with us. Liverpool have a complete agenda and say we're going to go that route. Jason, I think you're mute.
Yeah, you're muted, Jason.
I was saying even with Liverpool being high attacking, high pressing, they knew that what would get them over the line was the fact that they still needed a center back and a goddamn goalkeeper, and went and got a center back and a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Okay? We're all in agreement that at least our attacking front 3, okay, when on form, are arguably could be up there in the best in Europe. But we don't. But the way that we play is a style of we don't trust our defense. Okay, we just simply do not trust our defense. So at some point, the board has to make a decision. If we're gonna win something, and if we want to keep Kane, we have to invest in this defense. So at the end of this season, this summer, it's just gonna be like, what are we gonna do? Because I think it's predicated. I think depending on what we do this summer depends on whether Kane or Son stays in or goes.
Can we talk about a little bit about, I don't want to, this is a little bit off topic, Will, but I kind of want to talk about, since we're talking about Mourinho and,
Yeah, we're in the last hour, so this is free for all. So we're able to talk about whatever we want now. We've gone through the defense primarily. So
all right, I kind of want to talk about Mourinho's tactics, and I was all for it. If it works. Listen, I'm not a guy that's going to say, oh, we have to play the Hotspur way or the highway. I'm not the guy that's going to say we have to play attacking football. We have to play. I'm never going to tell a manager like how he should play, right? But Mourinho has come out with the comments about, it's funny how nobody questions NASA. But they question me and as a manager, and I play for my Marine styles or whatever he calls it, whatever, like his fan club pretty much, right? That he manages for them. Now, for me personally, I did not like that interview at all. It did not that for me wasn't positive at all, because in my opinion he is not listening to the fans' criticism of him. And at the end of the day, I understand that, yes, he knows, like, I'm never going to tell Mourinho how he should be getting results or how he should set up his team or how he should manage a team. Never going to tell him that. But all I can tell is I'm looking at the numbers, I'm looking at the results, I'm looking at our performances, and he has not reached any of the objectives that I expect him to. He has not lived up. When you have proceeded less numbers than AVB in his first season, that is a failure. AVB is a guy we often joke about. You know what I mean? AVB, like, some people like to joke about Poch, but if you compare Poch's first season with Mourinho's in terms of point, in terms of performances, it's not even close.
It's a different squad, though. It's a different squad, because like if you compare Poch's last 28 games, we got 32 points out of 28 matches.
Yeah.
And Poch's last 28 games, and under Mourinho, we're in these 28 matches, we're at like 50 something, right? So
No, but I'm talking about Pochettino's first season at Spurs.
right, but I'm saying the
And
squad
Mourinho.
though was completely different to the squad
It
now.
was, but you know, he still, but he has players to work with. You know, I understand the defense is poor, but he still has players to work with. You know, and get results from. And you know, I know, like David says, you know, oh, but you got to take into context. You know, Reguilon gets injured. You know, got injured, and then we lost points. But okay, like managers, every manager's gotten injured. You know what I mean? If you want to take things into context, we got slapped up by Liverpool. Look at their team. Their team is a hospital right now. You know, we got slapped up. And then if you look at Fulham, you look at Brighton and how they set up against Liverpool and played against Liverpool. Like the thing is, that's annoying me, right? And you know, people keep saying, oh, you know, trying to make excuses and say, oh, let's look at things out of, on context. All right, if you look at things on context, Manchester United played with 10 men. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna start making excuses for us, you have to also start making like you can make an excuse for any club as to why we lose. But in my opinion, the performances against the top clubs, right, the top 10 clubs, have been embarrassing. Embarrassed. I have been embarrassed. I have hold on. I gotta go on a rant here. I have never seen us right look so spineless and look so out of depth against a top club. You know what I mean? I can understand losing, right? The Man City game, I expected nothing, right? We played extra time, that was nothing. But the Liverpool game, I expected something. We got absolutely destroyed tactically, manhandled, everything. You name it. We got absolute. Mourinho got outclassed. The whole squad got outclassed.
Yep.
Right? And that was a Liverpool at its weakest. You look at Fulham, Brighton, and you know, you want to tell me Mourinho doesn't have the players to beat him. You know what I mean? Look at Scott Parker and how he set up against Liverpool. Look how, you know, look at, you know, like and Brighton, how they set up and beat Liverpool. Or even like, you know, teams that lose to Liverpool, you know, at least they put in a fight. You know what I mean? Like you got to put in a fight. You know, we just melt, we crumble, we go one goal below, one goal down. Like Mourinho's out of ideas. He just starts panicking. He pushes the panic button. Sissoko in, Winks in. You know what I mean? Let's put in defenders. Let's try to like. It's like, what are you doing, man? You know, you're trying to win the game, or are you trying to like soften the blow, trying to keep it 1-0. You know, it's for me. It's I think no, it's not salad. It's not childish, man. Okay, yes, we are above Liverpool, but I'm telling you, these performances against the top clubs have been embarrassing. Man, we went against Arsenal and we got absolutely slapped up for 90 minutes. I have seen us with worse squads against Arsenal with a much better squad than that. This is one of Arsenal's worst ever squad. Right? And I've seen us completely inferior go to the Emirates, lose, but put up a better fight than that. You know what I mean? Like I remember, like, you know, in the days where, you know, they had Fabregas, you know, they had all these players, Nasri, you know, and everything, and, you know, these real stars in Arsenal, and I would shit brick going in at the Emirates, and we still, you know, we would lose, but we would put in the performance, you know, at least try, or, you know, have that crazy 4-4 or that, you know, 3-2. But that was so spineless, that was so Spursy, and, you know, Mourinho, you know, just not taking Doherty out in the second half when all of us can see it.
Yeah, well, after the red card, it was tough.
No, but this is the second half, Will. This is the second half.
Right, I'm saying, but
this is before the red card
happened in the first 30 minutes of the game.
No, it didn't. It happened. Lamella got sent off in the second half. Later in the second half. That wasn't 30 minutes. That was 30 minutes in the second half.
Son got injured in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, but listen. I don't care when you're a player. When you see a player that out of his depth, right? Where it's obviously, you know, like for example, right? Brian and I get into a fight, right? Somehow, and I'm just jabbing him, and Brian's just like, he just keeps jabbing me. Should I just like stand here and just take these jabs, or should I like start moving around? I don't know, like, you know, start doing something. You know what I mean? He just kept taking it. It's the same game plan. Arteta, right hand side, attack our right hand side, Send whatever his fucking name is, that Scottish prick, right hand side, yeah, Tierney, yeah, thank you. I don't care about him. Right hand side, send him right hand side, send him right hand side. It was literally like it was almost like watching replay. I was like, is this replay or is this the actual game? It was so simple, and he never adjusted.
Well, Marcelo, on that note as well, what you got to look at is either Mourinho subs Doherty, which was the right option, but also Doherty was not being helped by Gareth Bale that game.
Gareth Bale didn't help.
We were trying. I can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to get him so forward that we could spring Bale on the break, but it didn't work. So what he should have said is, Bale, listen, either you have got to come back big time, or you bring Bale off. If you really want to keep Doherty on,
yeah, you got to.
I know what you're saying, but like you said, when there's someone that keeps literally jabbing at you.
Can I give us a slightly different view on that?
Of course, it's your show, buddy.
For me, what it was is it wasn't so much that we needed Bale to drop back. It was that Højbjerg was supposed to be helping out Doherty, but he couldn't because Winks was so bad on that left side in the midfield. If you really rewatch, I had to watch it twice because that's what we for all Tottenham games. I watch it and then I rewatch it for game study with my son. And if you watch, Harry Winks has a habit, instead of putting a shoulder on somebody, he either sticks out a leg and trips somebody up, or he just runs alongside him.
Yeah.
And so you had the midfielder for Arsenal. Sorry, I don't know those
Smith Rowe.
Yeah, Smith Rowe. He was coming in from, I guess, right to left into that half space. And Winks was letting him go, which was causing Højbjerg to have to pull back inside instead of helping out with Tierney, and that's why Doherty was getting flabbergasted. So if Winks would have followed him into those half spaces.
What you got to remember with Højbjerg as well, and I love everyone knows that I am obsessed with Højbjerg. I love him. That guy has not had a break all season. He's had the odd European game off. That guy has been. Don't get me wrong. This guy has got stamina and energy to burn. Doesn't get injured. Even when he does, he's just like he plays with blood. He just doesn't give a monkey. He's like Terminator. He's just like, right, get up, I go again.
Has he played a lot this break, or has he had a rest?
I haven't checked this. Do you know what? It's got so bad that I forgot England were. I've lost so much care. I forgot England were even playing today. I completely forgot to up full time. But Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who for me, forget Kane and Son, who have hit the heights, he is our player of the season. Højbjerg, for what he's brought to the team, what he gives to the team, but that guy is burnt the fuck out.
Yes, yeah.
The last few games, he's been putting in lazy tackles, and it's not even because he's being lazy. The guy is knackered.
Yeah, and it's because he has no, like I said, no fire in the bench. No player to come in and say, listen, Højbjerg, either you step up or I start playing for you. You know what I mean? So Højbjerg is in a dilemma. Well, okay, either I rest or, I still keep fighting for my spot and like try to keep pushing myself. That's what you need from a bench. That's what I'm talking about.
The solution to the Arsenal game wasn't even in the freaking squad that day, which is Bergwijn. And the reason why Bergwijn can't get in the squad is because he can't hit the side of a barn.
Yeah.
We ain't given the opportunity, because you put Bergwijn in the Bale position, you don't get burnt. Doherty doesn't get burnt
correct
entire game. He doesn't get barbecued the entire game. So
you even play Bergwijn at right back like he has done, and don't even play Doherty.
But the thing is, what I was saying is, Jason, is he could have done all of that, but he never did. He never did.
So
he got outclassed. He got outclassed by Pep's co-men. Let that sink in. This guy, who we say is the greatest manager of all time, which he is, he's a great manager, and he's done some great things, but he got outclassed by Arteta. Arteta saw the weakness, exploited it, and Mourinho never changed. Never changed.
The thing is, this has been coming. This thing has been coming. I wrote the games down that I've watched that were like appalling performances that really should have been wins that weren't. The Wolves game, the 1-1 Wolves game should have been a win.
Shocking. Should have lost that game.
We should have lost that game. That freaking Palace game, no way in hell that game should have ended 1-1. Okay,
we should have won that one
at Selhurst Park. Okay,
we were lucky.
And then okay, I get what you're saying about the top teams. I don't really trip off I get the performance with Liverpool, but I don't really trip off the fact that we lost. It's whatever.
No, I think in my opinion, I don't listen. My point is, it's not about losing. It's about coming in with a strategy, right, and actually coming in with an intent to win.
But we did have a strategy. Bergvijn hit the post.
No. I'm not talking. No. I'm talking about at White Hart Lane. The Anfield one was just unlucky. I'm talking about at White Hart Lane, 3-1. Liverpool, half their squad drained.
I got
Shameful performance.
Okay.
You know, that one goal that Højbjerg have. You know, it was just a brilliant goal. You know, but we were absolutely abysmal. We showed that game. We showed absolutely like it almost like we didn't even belong. You know what I mean?
I got you. So, all right. So, okay, but I get that, the Liverpool, but these are the performances to me I felt were just really telling. Was the Palace game we should have won. That freaking Brighton game irks the shit out of me. Okay, that Brighton game, oh my goodness, that Brighton game irks the shit out of me because that was an awful performance. And then the 2 times we played Fulham, okay, we got lucky beating them once. Okay, we were lucky winning one game. The other game was a draw. But those 2 games, and then Arsenal, and then to top it off, that Zagreb game was basically the culmination of the entire fucking season of passive play. The entire season.
He is too passive. In my opinion, he is too passive as a manager.
And I asked this question: were any of us shocked to see it? Be honest.
No. Jason, I've seen this for many.
Was coming.
Yeah, but it's not just that. I said this on the last week's show, and I said this on my pod, and I think we are Tottenham TV as well. The thing is, when you buy players at the level that we buy them, you're not just buying them cheap. When you buy a cheap player, you're not just buying them because what they do on the pitch. You're buying the player's mentality. You're like the game Top Trumps. When you look at the card and you look at their attributes and blah blah. When you buy a 5 million Dele Alli or a 12 million Doherty, that's not spending like if you go buy a Mo Salah or if you go. I'm just picking players that people have brought in. Mm-hmm. You're buying people that have been there, done it, got the temperament, got the mentality, and these players that we've bought at cheap, thinking that we can sell high, have been there through 2 or 3 managers, and it's been the mentality that goes through the squad the whole time. It's been there with Jose, it's been there with Poch, it's been there with Sherwood, it was there with AVB. It just there is a 20-year, and it comes back to the board. Here we go. It's a 20-year where from the top to the bottom, like I said, when we didn't apologise for the disgusting performance against the Filth and then Zagreb, the reason there was no apology or anything from the club is because the club are like, oh, we got to a quarter-final or nearly to a quarter-final. That's okay. We've made some money. There's no accountability. Yeah. No accountability whatsoever. They just accept this level of failure. This is acceptable at the club, and it goes from the top down.
But I will say this, Brian, and as much as I 100% agree with you on the board. You already know my stance on the board. Yep. I hate them. Screw them. They're the reason of our failure. But I will also have to say, tools, right? Tools, and you cannot look past the manager and the tools he's been given for. And if this was the AC Milan, if this was a Roma, Ajax, top team, I could understand it. Zagreb had every excuse in the book losing, right? If you look, they didn't have a manager.
Yep.
Financially, they don't even have financially the squad is not even close. Even quality, let's be real. We have Harry Kane for peak's sake. We have Endo Baller. We have so many great players. If Mourinho can't get these players to beat Zagreb, I'm sorry, send the manager. He has all the tools in the world.
I'm gonna have to call you off on this one because you only have 5 kids playing, 5 boys playing in that game.
He has
only 5.
all the tools in the world to beat Zagreb.
And he had the tools, but he put out the players who were complaining about not getting a chance. They went out and self-destructed and then beat Aston Villa 2-0 the very next week.
How long? Okay, how long is it going to take for him to learn his lesson? Right? I've been saying since the beginning of the season, Dyer is not good enough. Right? Dyer has been shocking. he keeps playing Dyer, and he keeps getting shocking results. He keeps playing Winks and Sissoko, a partnership that we knew didn't work since fucking Pochettino. Remember Bayern?
He couldn't play Hoiberg in the Zagreb game because he was
Yeah.
suspended. What was
Yeah.
his other option? The
Well,
point.
play a no baller next to someone.
Somebody-
Don't play.
Zagreb,
Don't
the only thing that I attribute to Mourinho for the Zagreb game is playing Davies instead of Reguilon,
Reguilon.
because Reguilon was the only one that hadn't had a huge run of games going into that match.
But Reguilon limped off the game against Arsenal.
But the thing is, he has all the tools, right? And we came in, and what did we do? Like every fucking time we have a lead, every fucking time we play a team with quality, how do we play? How do we set up? Defensive, passive, not giving a shit, fucking just absorbing pressure. And sure, listen, that worked out with City, that worked out with United, and if it kept working out, I would have been okay with it. I don't care about the way we play football, but I care about the results and the stats. And here's the thing, this guy, if you look at January in summer transfer window, he was backed in his first season more than Poch and AVB, right? He was backed more than them, and he has enough tools to be doing better than AVB. Like you got to remember, this is Jose Mourinho, right? This guy himself talks about his CV and walks around like he is the greatest in the world. And he got fucking outclassed by Zagreb, and he's been getting outclassed by any top team that he has faced. Since we beat Arsenal in November, the first top 10 team we beat was Villa. And I don't care that we lost Reguilon, because guess what? Every fucking manager has to deal with injuries, right?
Correct.
Every fucking manager has to deal with injuries. Pochettino has had to deal with injuries. You know, Klopp has had to deal with injuries. He's dealing with an injury pandemic right now.
I don't think it's necessarily just injuries, though. It's the fact that we only have 5 quality players in the entire squad.
But the thing is,
because my thing is like this. Brian said that Hoiberg was burnt out. Okay, he's not the only player that's burnt out. Okay, he's knackered. He's fucking knackered. Okay, and he's not the only one. And my thing is you're man. You have to think. Going into a game against Zagreb with a 2-0 lead, with a 2-0 lead, okay, you literally feel like I should be able to put these players out and you secure a goddamn 2 lead into the next round, okay? And I mean, it was bad. And to be honest with you, I really wish he hadn't started Kane in that damn game. I really wish he did. I didn't think he should have.
I didn't even want him on the play.
But it literally was like, I feel like Mourinho was like, I don't think we can keep a clean sheet, but if I play Kane, I think we can get a goal. Okay? I think if we can get that 1 goal, I can pull Kane off the damn field. Okay.
Now for the hot take on that point.
I got to answer some questions here. Aaron Barr said, you call 65 million transfer backed. Come on, man. No, I'm not calling it good backing, but from what he got, from the amount of players he got, and from the amount of money spent, he got back more than AVB and Pochettino in their first season. It's a fact. So he's gotten more tools than they had to work with in their first season. And he is supposed to be the greatest manager of all time. A lot of our fans mock Pochettino for being a bottler and not winning much, right? A lot of our fans do say that. You know, a lot of people, call Redknapp a bottler, not won anything. We mock AVB, right?
Rodgers.
And this guy has been underperforming than these managers. This guy that's supposed to be this great, underperforming these managers that we mock.
Players though, some has to go on the players.
No. Some has to go on the players, but he has fucking tools to be Zagreb. Like the performances are.
And you shouldn't have to put your first team players with a 2-0 lead up on the Zagreb team. You shouldn't have to. It's not based on the type of club that we are and the freaking squad that we have. It is absolutely embarrassing that we lost, and you're literally to the point where you're literally saying you should have played your fucking A squad. It's inexcusable. It is.
But Jason, no. What I'm saying, Jason, is how he set up the squad. Passive.
He didn't set up passive. You don't start Harry Kane in that game.
No. It is passive. It is passive because it's only Harry Kane. Listen. Forget who we start. Look at how we play. Look at how we fucking play.
He
Man,
started.
listen.
The only thing that people probably disagreed with, okay, was Winks and Sissoko in the midfield, okay, in the double pivot. Those are the only two that everybody pretty much had an issue with. I'm with Brian. I didn't think he needed to start Kane. Personally, I didn't think he needed to start Kane. I didn't have a problem with Lamela in the game, okay. Who else? Who else? I didn't have a problem with Mora in the game, okay. I didn't have a problem with that, okay. You should think that Sissoko and Aurier started the game. You might have an argument for Ben Davis, but everybody was crying out for fucking Aurier against Arsenal. Aurier did not play against Arsenal. He played against Zagreb. And what did he do? He got run by. He got freaking toasted.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
He got put on toast. Okay.
Yeah,
my freaking Zagreb player.
But and here's the hot take.
Yeah.
Here's the hot take, and I want to get all three of your guys' opinion on this hot take. If Harry Kane had a Ronaldo or a Messi type mentality, does he miss those two open headers?
Nah, look, listen.
He doesn't miss the sitter in the extra time.
No, look. Look, you
there was a sitter in full time. There was a sitter in extra time, like that one when the ball was ping ponging around in there. I mean,
I'm gonna say
if you're
this,
a world class,
I think
right? If you're Christian, you think Cristiano Ronaldo misses that header in the extra time?
Listen, when it comes to it, Harry Kane is the greatest striker in the world right now. Now, every single striker will miss occasionally. Just because you're world class does not mean you have a divine right to score that goal. Don't get mad if you're Messi, Ronaldo, Batistuta, Romario, Baggio, Van Basten, Shearer, anyone. If you're a world-class striker, you got to remember that pitch wasn't like a Premier League pitch. There is so much more that goes into it. You can't just say, "Oh, Ronaldo would have scored this. Ronaldo would have scored that."
Ronaldo missed a penalty, and Manchester versus Chelsea.
By the way, Kane missed a sitter today. By the way.
You got to remember, mate. He's also played 40-odd games this season for club and country.
Yeah.
40-odd games.
So we're gonna
Vinicius should have been on the pitch. The bit I didn't understand about this game is Kane shouldn't have got on the plane. I didn't want him anywhere near it. I wanted him to relax. When you've got the top goal scorer in the Europa League, who has been killing it in the Europa League, you play him in the Europa League.
And whose fault is that? Mourinho's.
Well,
Mourinho's.
That is Mourinho. That is Mourinho.
But here's the thing, right? I gotta say is I don't give a fuck. Listen, I don't give a fuck what Hugo comes out and says, right? I don't care what people come out and say. Oh yeah, let's play attacking football. I care about what I see in the pitch. I care what I see in the pitch. Oh, talk is cheap, bro. Talk is cheap. You know, I don't care about none of that stuff. Oh, Mourinho said, get the first goal and kill off the game. I'm sure he said that. That's what I would be saying. But what is he drilling? What is he doing, right? To do that? Because, you know, whatever he is doing, it's not getting results. It's not fucking getting. It's not getting enough.
I agree with myself.
So he's got to change something.
I agree with you on that because what I do believe is, regardless of what Mourinho says when he talks about the actual game, I think from preseason up until now and every training session, it's always been about being defensively solid. Yeah. And I think it's ingrained in them that, God damn it, we got to do not make the defensive mistake. And I think
the squad is afraid.
And that's
afraid to play football.
Thank you. And I think that's at the end of the day, I think that is what's been ingrained in them. It's almost like they're robotic because they revert back to it. They think the minute that they get that lead, they think that they can sit on the lead, and it's been and it's nothing, and that has nothing to do with I teach progressive football, because teams that play progressive football and practice and train in progressive football are always looking for the next goal. Yeah. They're always looking for the next goal. You see it with Man City, you see it with Liverpool. You know what I'm saying? You see it with Arsenal. You see it with a lot of the teams that play progressive football. So it's we're up 1-0, we're gonna go get the second goal. If we're up 2-0, we're gonna get the 3-0. Okay. So, but what I've seen, okay, and you know what? We can all trace it back. We can all trace it back to when Mourinho started drilling in their fucking head about being defensive and holding on to the goddamn lead. Is that fucking against West Ham? Everything changed after that.
And you even watch, even if you even watch it in Amazon, look at all the drills. Remember the
Yes.
tapes that they read? All defensive. Halftime talks. Remember all those halftime talks? Defensive instructions. How to defend against a team. How to defend against a team. And so he can say afterwards, like he
I'm
can
not buying
say.
it.
Like he can say, "Oh yeah," but I told him to go score a goal. That means fucking shit, man. It's like if I got Brian and I said, "Hey Brian, let me teach you how to drive a Nissan. All right, now let's drive a Formula One. Good luck, buddy. Like
Yeah.
here you go. You're not gonna fucking be able to drive it, man.
Well,
It's a different
I
thing."
can ask Will a question because no, just to even prove the point. Will and Brian, you all can answer this question. What do we do when we have the ball? What exactly is our plan? What is the plan to play? Seriously. So he can say that he told them to push forward and score a goal, but okay, and how do we go about doing that exactly? You watch Man City, okay, regardless of who the fuck is on the field, you know both of their wide players are gonna have their fucking feet on the goddamn touchline. Both of the wide players are gonna have Pep always stresses stretch the field, always be wide, okay? Screaming at them if they do not have their feet on the touchline. Okay, because it literally stretches the defense. What are Spurs? What are our plans aside?
It depends who's playing on left back. Because if you watch Davies, he's a good 5-6 yards in from the touchline, whereas Reguilon is always running up and down right along that edge.
And let me ask you, let me add something in that, Jason. Look how lethargic we look. And now people will say this, oh, but we saw this under Pochettino, right? This lethargic play, when Pochettino, when those players threw, Pochettino under the bus. A lot of those players spent 5 years with Pochettino before they got sick of Pochettino. Spend 1 fucking year with Mourinho, and we're starting to see like the end of Pochettino type plays. Because they 1 fucking year, and don't tell me, they just hate Mourinho, bro. Like he was getting a tune out of these players 1 second, and then all of a sudden something happened, and now he can't get a tune out of them. So what type of man management is that? I'm questioning a lot of things from Mourinho. And honestly, it's getting to a point where the reason why I want him out, I don't trust him in the rebuild. I just don't, man. He's shown me a lot of things.
Again, Marcelo, where it comes down to the part, like Dele Alli is going to be a prime example. When Dele Alli fucked up, he's off the bench, he's off the team, and Mourinho will absolutely slaughter him to the media, online, back pages, everything. The defense... Oh, I'm just going to take you out for 1 game, then you're going to come back in dire, or I'm going to take you out for 1 game. There is no accountability because over the years, and I'm just going to say over the last 10, not over the whole, there has been no accountability. Oh, we got to a final, but you didn't win. Why didn't you win? Oh, because I didn't. And if it's okay, I didn't have the players. Okay, well, end the conversation because I'm not getting you the players. Oh, you got to a semi-final. What happened? Well, we didn't have the players. There is no account. There's an acceptable, and I got into an argument with someone. I was like, "Why is Tottenham Hotspur fans going? Do you know what? Yeah, we made the top 4. Woohoo, woohoo! Or yes, we got to a Champions League final. Yes, we got to a semi-final. That's very good. I don't accept the semi-final as an acceptable position.
No, there's something wrong with this team. There's a curse or something because if you look at the
mentality, Will, from top
if you look
to
at the
bottom,
mentality though, like for like the second leg of City and the second leg of Ajax, right? There was something there, and then you go into the final and it's like, blah.
Yeah, because they got to the final. Well done, biggest game of the season.
A prime example of this team's mentality is the joke that everybody makes is that we came 3rd in the 2-horse race.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, I would say, okay, yes.
Because regardless of what everybody says, we all remember, Leicester won the league. But do you remember our last game of that season?
Newcastle.
Yeah.
Who got relegated and
we lost 5. Yeah, we lost 5-1. No. Don't get me wrong. Under Pochettino was not perfect. It was not perfect. There was moments.
The mentality was there. The mentality was there, though.
There was points. Yes. No. Listen. There was points where yes, we did bottle it, and we were Spursy. And there was points. And bottle it big, right? But the thing is,
I
right?
almost
We're not
fell
only
asleep.
bottling big. No. Not only are we bottling big with this so-called great manager with a winning mentality, we're bottling against fucking farmers. So you know what? I'm getting to a point where we're going out there and we're playing against Dynamo with a losing mentality, sitting back, just chilling out and playing like we're playing video games, watching Netflix. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this. You know, I'm sick of these performances. Every time we face a team of any quality at all, you know, he comes out with the same performances. He can't get the tune out of these players. It's the same performances over and over again. Okay, Villa was a good one. I will give him that. You know, that was a decent one. But you know, also if we're gonna
bring you back in, every time you try to walk away, they pull you back in because that Villa performance, they'd be like, well, that's literally saying, well, maybe they might, because right now you're like, 3 points off the top 4.
But it's like Victor said, what Pochettino did with this squad is he fucking overachieved. The fact that he got us into those positions is a fucking miracle. He is a miracle worker.
I don't blame Poch, I blame the players.
But the thing is, we were never good enough. But the thing is with Pochettino and how he set us up is we always at least fucking went to win, man. Like I don't.
Matches.
I just listen. I'm telling. Well, yeah, okay. The FA Cup matches and the Europa League, he could give less of a fuck. You know, Pochettino didn't care about Carabao Cups. But the thing is, in the big, like for example, City, right? Okay, yeah, you know, like I remember against City, you know, the away game. Yes, we rode our luck. You know, the VAR call, you know, I mean, the hit goal. Yeah, we rode our luck. But you know why we rode our luck? Because we were creating chances. We went out there with an intent to win, bro. You know, we weren't there.
Actually, hold on. That City game, we sat back and the 2 goals.
No.
No. They were counterattacks.
Counterattacks.
Yeah.
They were counterattacks. We literally sat back. And
We parked the bus that whole match.
Pochettino didn't do anything different than what Mourinho would have did against.
No. But I'll say this. No. But Jason. No. Go watch that game, right? Go watch that game, right? No. Go rewatch that game, right? Yes, we sat back. Yes, we gave away possession. But when we had the ball, we had intent. And yes, we did that. Mourinho did that in the beginning of the season with Pep, and I congratulated him, and I called it a Mourinho masterclass, and I still hold by it. I thought it was a masterclass performance by him. I thought he got this tactics perfectly. You know, I'm willing to congratulate him when he's right, but I'm also gonna criticize him when he's wrong. But recently, his tactics has not worked. You know,
let me ask you another question, Marcelo.
If
If it's not the players, that you have to rely on, why is Pochettino struggling at PSG right now?
Oh no! Well, I mean, listen,
Neymar, Mbappe.
Look, I you know, his thing with PSG. I'm not saying Pochettino didn't have to stay. I said he had to go. I think his time.
I don't think it was Marcelo. I don't think it's Pochettino's fault there either. I think that there's problems in the mentality at PSG. Right?
No, he's underperforming at PSG. Listen, he's got enough players to be in the top of the league. I mean, come on now. Let's be real here. He's
drawing and losing matches just like
Listen, you're gonna ask me. He's been underperforming, and he needed to go from Spurs. We needed a refashion. But the thing is, right? I don't care what Pochettino is doing at PSG.
No, but what I'm saying is that when you have a squad like that, right? It's not. I'm not saying that I care what Pochettino is doing there. I'm saying is if there's mentality, if there's internal issues with the players on the team, right? Like there is at PSG, they were failing under Tuchel, right? He's gone and now he's succeeding over at Chelsea, right? It doesn't matter. And then they bring in Pochettino, who's supposed to be this great manager who's, you know, can do a rebuild and pull all these people together. You know, the better than Nagelsmann is what everybody out there in the Twitter sphere is saying, right? So, but he's still struggling because of the players, right? The issues inside the club. My point is that if we take out Marcelo, if you take out Mourinho, you're gonna have, and you bring in Nagelsmann, you're gonna have the exact same issue.
You're gonna have the same problem.
Well, hold on a second. My comment with Mourinho is that I don't trust him in a rebuild. I don't trust him to be in a future manager. I'm not saying it's completely Mourinho's fault. That was never my point. I do think a lot of these players are not good enough. And listen, like I always said, if we lost to a Milan, we lost to a Roma, we lost to those teams, I can understand that because I understand the tools in which Mourinho has, and I understand that he is not a miracle worker. But I'm sorry, there is no excuse for him to losing to Zagreb. No excuse. Tactically, no excuse. He should be
I
able
think
to
the last
have
45 minutes he threw the kitchen sink at that game, man.
Yeah.
the first 45.
After he allowed Zagreb back into the game. Why would you do that?
Correct.
You fucking you want to go, you want to kill the game, fucking do it.
I can't blame Mourinho for certain players that let Orsic just run through them, just run by him like they were freaking training posts, training cones, because that's what Orsic did, was literally run by the fucking defense like they were training cones.
But how many times have you seen that? How many times have you seen that under Mourinho? And a lot of times where we just sit back and chill.
But it's from
We
the
just sit back and
players.
chill.
But my thing is, it's from the players. Let's be honest. It is from the players, especially the players that we were begging to be playing against Arsenal. My thing is that Orsic went down in Aurier's side twice on Aurier's side, and we were screaming for Aurier to be playing against Arsenal.
Yeah.
Okay, and when he gets in the game against lesser opponents, okay, you have a fucking dude that scored a hat trick on us, and 2 of those goals he ran by Aurier like he was a fucking training cone. Okay?
Jason, can I tell you something?
My thing is, what does that have to do with Mourinho?
Jason, let me tell you let me tell you what that does have to do with Mourinho. Instead of going out there in the first half and just trying to kill the game and being brave and actually playing some attacking football and actually trying to penetrate Zagreb and make them feel like, oh shit, you know what I mean? We can't just walk through this team and play attacking football or else they're gonna hurt us, right? Instead of that, we set back to the point where we set back and we were so flamboyant and we were so fucking lethargic that David and I literally started talking about our favorite movies. That first half was so fucking boring and so dead that David and I weren't even talking about the games. You can go do the watch along. It was so boring. We were talking about movies.
But my thing is, a dead first half is fine for us. It doesn't give a shit. They weren't doing anything.
Yeah, it was 1-0 at halftime.
No,
1-0 at halftime.
No, it was 0-0 at halftime. They scored.
It was 0-0. It was 0-0.
0-0 at halftime. They didn't score until the second half.
Yeah, no. But the thing is,
they came out with the emphasis in the second half.
Didn't they score like in the last minute of the first half?
Jason?
No.
Jason.
Or was that Arsenal?
That was Arsenal.
Jason, you know what you do by doing that, right? You let Dynamo grow confidence. When you go a whole first listen, if you go a first full half without hurting a team, without threatening, without showing intensity, teams start saying, you know what? This team is like just walking around. How about we start pushing them a little bit?
I get it.
And then you start pushing them, and then they get the first goal. They're like, "Oh, we got a first goal. We can do this."
My thing is, I agree with you. My thing is the minute they scored that first goal, once it was 2-1, okay, God damn it, something should have slapped the shit out of these motherfuckers and said, you know what? Oh,
that's my problem.
Whoa, thank you, Will. The minute they scored the minute it was 2-1, and you give Orsic his props. That was a worldie. It was a worldie, okay? He pulled that shit out of his ass. That came out of nowhere, okay? It was a worldie. But the minute you see that go in the net, you're like, they're ready to play.
At 2-1, I expect to see a Hugo Sun fight on the pitch, like that type of a deal.
If you're a manager if you're a manager and your player's reaction is, oh, they're here to play after you go 2-0 down, and it's not, oh, they're here to play when the first
he was making subs before that.
It's ridiculous, man. It's
ridiculous. My thing is, the first goal is a worldie, and you should have woke your ass up. The problem was, my issue was the second goal, and the second goal they were right back down in our ass. Right after they scored the first goal, it didn't even wake. They didn't wake up. They didn't wake up when the first goal went in. They didn't wake up. Okay, go look at the second goal is even worse. The second goal was a freaking team goal. Like nobody put in a challenge. The ball went wide, came into the box, and there's Orsic again, running onto the ball. Nobody's covering. Hugo's looking like, where the fuck is everybody at? Everybody just couldn't. It looked like a training. It looked like a training session. It looked like
a horrible game. But I want to change that subject very quickly, and I want Well, your question about why Pochettino is not doing well at PSG, I'll give you the reason. Is when Pochettino comes in, one of the things he says is he wants a pre-season. Because believe me, Pochettino's pre-season is like no other pre-season any other player would have seen. And when you've got these people such as Mbappe, such as Neymar, and all the other quality stars they have, they would not have had any kind of training like Poch. Poch will drill them so hard halfway through a season. They're probably like, what the hell is going on? I will guarantee you next season, well, PSG normally should walk at any time. But
they're still top of the league, by the way. You know, they're still top of the league. So, you know, like, listen, Pochettino could very well win the League One. You know, they're top of the league right now.
Yep.
They are joint points with Lille, but, you know, listen, the way Lille has been, he's probably going to win it. But, you know, he also joined the club midway through the season, which is never easy.
Pre-season, exactly.
Yeah, it's never easy. But the thing is, it's like, even then, I heard rumors that PSG, you know, might be questioning if he's the guy in the future. I've been hearing rumors about that, man. And in my opinion, I think if you're a fan of Tottenham Hotspurs, I think you have to ask a little bit from Mourinho and see whether he is the right man for the future, in my opinion. Because if we're gonna hold this guy to such high standards, but yet give him such low standards, right? We hold his reputation and everything such high standards, but yet for his performances, we're lowering the standards so low, right? To where we're saying it's okay for a manager of his caliber to lose his eye break. It's okay for his manager of his caliber to not beat a top 10 team for nearly, you know, 4 months. You know, it's okay for us to just get run over and look like we're lost. It's okay to just like go in there without an intent. You know, it's okay. You know, it's all the players' fault. It's none of Mourinho's fault. I'm not gonna buy that because he does have some players that can get him these results. I'm sorry. Not good enough. He has not been good enough.
How you guys doing? Will, Marcelo,
Good.
Brian, and Jason. How you guys doing?
All good. Yourself, mate?
I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here. I'm just gonna ask you, Marcelo. I understand your point and I agree with everything you guys are saying, but this is what I would say. Marcelo, if you were the coach right now for Premier
Manager.
and if a player was bunch if you're the manager and a bunch of players want to get you out, what's the best way for them to do that? Just tell me straight up.
Well, if I'm a great, well, one, I'm not really a manager, too, right? But if I was going to put myself in that position and I'm the great manager that I walk around and, you know, act like, right? Then I would find a way to manage where I can keep these players on my side. No. But let me answer your question. I will keep these players on my side long enough until I sell them. And if they are not on my side, right? No. And if they're not on my side, then it is the players on my side that I will play only. I'm not gonna play no Sissoko. I'm not gonna play no Dyer. And if I have to, I will play the youngsters. If I have to. I will take a leap of faith.
That brings me to my point. That brings me to my point. I asked you a straight question and you used an excuse to answer. You didn't give me an answer. If you
No. I gave you an answer.
And this players was planning. No, I said a group of players was trying to get you out of the club. What would they do to get you out? What
would the players do?
Out? What would they do?
Oh,
what would the players do to get you out?
Oh, okay. Well, they will stop playing. They won't play for you. Yeah, but guess what? If I'm the manager, if they're not playing for me, I'm not going to play them. Simple as.
Do you think that maybe it just took a little while because a lot of those players were only playing in the Europa League? But now he's done that with the Villa game.
Listen, if me, right, old Marcelo can spot that Dyer, Sissoko, Winks, and, you know, etc. We all know them, right? Have been having horrible seasons and have not been playing for the badge.
Ball though.
Then he's 100% there. And if I can spot there, and Jose Mourinho can't, I'm going to question Jose Mourinho and how he's watching the squad. Because
I think Dyer's playing
and everybody else can see
it.
it.
I don't think he's in
Jose Mourinho not see it.
I don't think he's in the cabal.
Just quickly on that note, I'm going to drop off because I'm falling
All
asleep.
right, hold on.
here,
Let's let
so-
Brian promote your guys' channel and all that
Guys,
stuff.
as you know, it's Tottenham Away. We're on YouTube. We are on all across social media, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. But Tottenham Away is our YouTube channel. We're doing a live stream tomorrow. I was on today. We beat Claude and Kenny Kemp from Arsenal Fan TV on a quiz. So we Tottenham won the North London derby in the quizzes. So North London is white once again.
Over on Simon's
As
channel.
I said,
Nice.
you can find me on Tottenham Away. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Jason, nice meeting you. Awesome, nice meeting you. Marcelo, always a pleasure, my man.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure. See you next week,
Yeah.
my man. And Will, I'll see you soon, buddy.
Hey, you're
Yeah,
welcome on
have a good
anytime, Brian. And thanks for hanging
Cheers,
with us for
guys.
so long. It was great.
Anytime, man. Have a great evening, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Marcelo,
Brian.
peace, brother.
Peace out.
And if you guys want to be able to find
can I-
that Tottenham Away channel, hold on, Osama, 1 second. If you guys want to be able to find the Tottenham Away channel, I link all the channels that I've appeared on on the main page for the channel. So if you go to the front page of the channel, you'll be able to click on the link to Tottenham Away, and you'll be able to go there. You'll find the Irish Hotspur, Matty Hayes, We Are Tottenham TV, and Tottenham Away. Those are the channels that have been gracious enough to have me on. So please support all those channels down there. But go ahead, Osama.
So my take on this is this: number one, this players, the best way to get a manager out is to not play or is to play bad, just to get the manager out. And that's what they play. That's what the players are doing. They are doing it not because Mourinho is not a good coach. Because if you know all the changes Mourinho have done, look at Dombele. Dombele has improved way. I believe Dombele's goal might be the goal of the season, even though people are like, wow. Look at how Dombele has improved. Look at how Kane has improved. Kane has become, one thing I've noticed about everything that we're talking about right now is, just like I said to Will in my last thing I spoke to him, the best way for a player to be decided as a good player is if you can read the game. Like I said, Kane is our best striker, is our best midfield, and is the best defender. I've watched the game. I see Kane go inside the box to egg the ball out several times.
Yeah.
That is not supposed to be his job, but he's doing that. But why is Kane reading the ball going into the net that he has to head it out? Why? What is the job of the defender? And one thing about it, Lloris doesn't even kick anybody with the ball. Anytime he wants to catch the ball, he uses his foot, not even his hand most of the time. Because you know why? He doesn't trust the people in front of him. He doesn't trust any of the defenders.
Well,
because
to
he
be
knows
fair,
that
Hugo.
defenders-
Hugo's that's never been Hugo's game. Even when we had one of the best defense in the league, he's still always been a goalkeeper that never comes
And
off
honestly,
his line.
Not
Just
only that,
always
but
been
I
that.
think
but
Hugo's way too quiet. I think Hugo's way too quiet.
Yeah.
Especially, and I think what's really
Yeah.
kind of brought that out into the light this season is the fact that there's no fans in there, and a lot of times you can get the version without fake crowd noise. And if you notice the difference, even between Hart and Hugo, Hart's screaming the whole time, right? He's screaming the whole time, and I almost think it was a mistake playing Hugo in that match against Zagreb instead of Hart, not because of the fact that Hart's any better of a shot stopper than Hugo. I'm not saying that, but Hart is far more commanding on that back line, and I think those guys miss it, especially with Toby not being there. I think that was a mistake in and of itself because Hugo is such a quiet goalkeeper. And even on my own son's ODP team, he's got this one keeper that just keeps screaming out, and they do so much better. And then you go and bring in some guy who just lets the center backs do whatever they want, not calling out runners coming in here and runners coming in there and this coming in here and mark that guy, pick up that guy, look behind you over there. Without that type of direction, because a keeper can see all that, it's a huge difference, man. It really is.
All right, but I'm going to ask you this. Awesome. No, I got a question for you. Since you asked me a question, I got a question for you. If you're a great manager, right, and you come into a new squad, it's your first year, and what is your job? You know what I mean? What is your responsibility?
My responsibility outside one condition. Let me tell you, outside one condition. If I'm a play like right now, I told Will before. I don't know if you listened to the last podcast. What I told Will is, if I'm a player in Europe right now, and if I'm looking for a club that I can go and make money without doing anything, Tottenham Hotspur is the best place I want to come. Why? Because all I have to do is keep riding my contract. Because what I have to do is
No, I'm
fight
talking about as
this
a
coach to be
manager.
kicked out. When this manager gets kicked out, I'll fight this manager to be kicked out. Then I will write my contract for the next manager.
Yeah,
Right
but you're
now,
thinking
in the front of Hugo, which I still say the same thing. In front of Hugo, which I'm telling you right now, the only person playing right now is Reggie and Toby. Every other person is unreliable. So imagine you are playing an attacking game, right? But you don't have no defense. For
But I'll say
example,
this.
I'll ask you a good example. Tell me, where is Liverpool right now? Why is Liverpool failing? Why is Liverpool
Because
not
they have a
winning the
pandemic.
championship?
They
Oh,
literally
you
have
gotta
a
give him a
pandemic
chance
of
to answer
managers.
your questions, my man.
They don't have a defense. So how can you play an
Well, yeah, but that's not Klopp's fault. No, but hold on a second. That's not Klopp's fault. That's not Klopp's fault that he doesn't have a defense. That's not his fault. Jesus, Klopp is going through. Listen, what Klopp is going through is literally like unimaginable. It's about the unluckiest thing ever. He literally has half of his fucking squad out injured, and it's not like, oh, it's short-term injury. Half of his squad for most of the season have been long-term injury. All
But
right.
does he get as much heat in the press as Mourinho does?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But look, no. But let me say this. Let me say this. You're gonna ask me a question. I'm gonna answer it. Klopp also. There's such a thing as recency bias. Klopp won a Premier League last season. Klopp won a Champions League a couple seasons ago. When Mourinho talks, every time he talks is about stuff that he did years ago, right? And that's all great. And obviously CV matters, right? You want to choose CV, but your CV can carry you so long. At one point, I need to start seeing man management for you. This is his first year, right? Players that he was getting a tune out of, right? Remember Sissoko? Remember we used to call him irreplaceable? Now he can't get a tune out of Sissoko. Remember, like how we used to call, no, he can't get a tune of the players that he was getting the tune out of, right? So I'm gonna assume that he fell out with a lot of those players, right? So his man management hasn't been the best. Now it's been on and off. I think it's been good for some players and it's been bad for others, right? But at the end of the day, you got your tools. You got to work with it. You got to adapt, right? You're a great manager. You adapt. I'm sorry. Tough shit. You say, oh yeah, I'm an old school guy. What the fuck does that mean? You know what I mean? Like you got to catch on with the time, man. You got to catch on. So he goes out there, loses the half of the players that he was getting the tune of. Then he goes and he can't get a result against any top team. Right? Can't get his point accumulation. It's been lower than half of our managers. So, and then he goes and he gets knocked out by the lowest ranked team in Europa. Like, come on now, man. Like, then you're gonna tell me it's all the players? Yeah, it's all the players, but there's players out there that are at fault, but Mourinho is also to blame.
I'm not saying he has no blame. I'm just saying. Hold on, Austin. Let me say. I'm not saying that he isn't to blame. I'm not saying he hasn't made mistakes. I'm saying my point is because I guess you could say I'm not Josie in or out. I'm Jose agnostic, right? So it's my point is if you bring somebody else, the same crap's gonna happen until you get out that junk.
There you go.
It could be Nagelsmann, it could be Pep, it could be Klopp. It doesn't matter.
But exactly, no, and listen, I agree to a certain extent. But I also think those managers can get a tune better. I think they listen. No, listen. Let's look at Ten Hag, right? You want to talk about a manager that's been fucked over by the board, right? Over and over again. Ten Hag has had to work with an academy his whole fucking career. His whole career. No. His whole career, he's had to work with an academy.
They're a selling club.
Yeah,
Ajax
yeah.
is a fallen club.
And guess what? And guess what? With that, he not only did he go to the Eredivisie, right? If you
Mhm.
look at the Eredivisie history, PSV was dominating the league, right? Until Ten Hag came. Ten Hag came back and he brought Ajax back to the club that they used to. You look at fans, they talk about Ajax now. They say he's bringing our club back to the Ajax we
But
remember.
they got to sell because
Bringing them
that particular league doesn't make any money.
Right,
So the only way the
exactly,
club can make
and with
money is to
no
sell
money,
players.
and with no money, he has gotten Champions League over and over again. With no money, he has changed the club, won leagues, right? In a league that was run by PSV, he switched that around, and with no money, he got to a semifinal. Which, okay, yeah, he didn't win it, but it's still no. Listen, with the resources he had, was very, very, very incredible. And with no money, he is ahead of Jose Mourinho in Europa League. With no money
Getting
and a
Champions
bunch of
League in that
youngsters.
league isn't the top two places get Champions League, and there's only 2 teams in that league.
True,
So it's
true,
not
true. But he has to play the qualifiers, right? So that's another thing. But what
the
I
qualifiers against East European teams.
but you're also
They're no
missing
different than the Europa League
but
players.
you're also missing the other point. He transformed Ajax to dominating the league again. PSV was dominating the league since he came in. Now Ajax is dominating the league. He played a major role in that. Ajax are finding success. People are talking about Ajax again because of Ten
That's
Hag.
true.
Ten Hag is further in Europa League, the same competition Mourinho is in, with less resources, and he has had to do many rebuilds. This guy has had to sell his whole squad and start from fucking scratch, man. You know what I mean? And like,
But one of the things about that is that yeah, he has to build that squad, but then you still have a crop of young, hungry academy players.
Exactly.
Can-
No
can
Harry
we be
Winks
honest?
thinking they should be
Thank
playing
you.
for Europe.
Thank you. Can we be honest and just say that there's a few players on the Spurs team right now that think that they're better than they actually are.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and that's a mentality thing.
Absolutely.
There's nothing that you can do. And I always look back at how they treated Pochettino before what got
Yeah.
Pochettino the sack, and what's happened
After
is
5 years, by the way.
right after you got right, and part of that is because it's not like Pochettino didn't call this. It's not like Pochettino didn't say this was going to happen. One of the things that a lot of people, by the way, Pochettino had plenty of meetings and sat down and was admired by Sir Alex Ferguson. And one of the biggest things that Sir Alex Ferguson always did with those Man United teams was he always, when players, just when you think they were almost that great, where they were on the pinnacle of being great, what did he do? He got rid of them. Okay, people didn't understand it. He would refresh the squad. Pochettino had said for the last 2.5 seasons that we needed to refresh the squad. There was no competition for places.
Absolutely.
There were none. The board was like, nope, and we saw it coming. Yes, we made it to a Champions League final. Okay, but we ended the season horribly. We ended that season horribly. We started the season bad. Okay, you got rid of Pochettino. You brought in Mourinho. We had a little bounce, but then let's not forget that game against Sheffield United. Okay, when Pochettino literally called out about 4 players in that game when they were absolute shit against Sheffield United last season. Okay, then there was the game against Bournemouth. There's literally the.
But I'm asking you this. No, Jason. Let me ask you this. Hand on heart.
Mm-hmm.
If Levy said, look, these are the limited resources we have to work with, which it is. It is going to be limited resources.
Mm-hmm.
And Mourinho, in his recent years, he's had to spend to have success. He's not the same Porto manager. He's not that manager anymore, right? Which one would you trust more in a rebuild? Mourinho or Ten Hag? I personally would trust Ten Hag.
I'm not disagreeing.
Hand on heart. No, but like hand on heart. Who would you agree?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with you on the Ten Hag. I'm not disagreeing with you. Part of the thing is there's 2 things that happen here. Okay, one of the things is that freaking Daniel Levy freaking damn near must have had a freaking mural of Jose Mourinho somewhere in his freaking house or in his fucking mansion somewhere, just admiring Mourinho. Mourinho who's sitting there, wherever the fuck he was, wherever he is, that Sky sitting there commentating on games. Okay, he just was like, "Oh, he's available. Let me go get him." Okay, and Mourinho sitting out of football for a damn near season was like, "I really want to get back into the mix of things." All right, and he's always said that he's loved the Spurs squad, but nobody ever sat there.
No, but we all agree with this. We all agree it's arrogance from the board. We settled this. But I'm asking you, right? Looking at this season, Let me ask you. Actually, you know what? Let me ask you this. Looking at the season, looking at Jose, has he underperformed, or has he performed
based
to
on
what you expect?
on paper, based on the roster, yes, we have underperformed. But if you go and look at what we did the last few months,
Performances of those players.
Yeah, based on paper, hell yes, we have performed.
Very much.
If you just look at the players on paper, if you sit there and you say Kane, Son, Deli, Winks,
well, not Winks.
All the individual errors,
and
man.
no baller, Hoiberg and no baller. There's Regulon. Rodon is a decent defender. Taganga. There's Toby.
Right.
Yeah, but Marcelo, even you before 2 or 3 weeks ago, you would have said that every single loss and/or draw was down to personal mistake.
No, not true. I said in the Arsenal loss, Mourinho got outclassed. I said
No, I'm saying besides the last 2 weeks.
No. Wolves game. Look back on the watch along. I said it was Mourinho's fault. I have criticized Mourinho. There are games, yes, where I will say the players were at fault. I think
Everton,
obviously
Newcastle.
Everton. No, Everton. I don't blame Mourinho. That was just fucking unlucky. City. I don't blame Mourinho. I expected nothing from that game. Liverpool. I do blame the players' performances, but I also looked at it again. I went and looked back at it, and I don't like how the shape we were in.
Liverpool 1 was 100% personal mistakes. Liverpool 2 was maybe
no. Liverpool 1. I don't blame them. Liverpool 2. I went to look back at that, and I was like, yes, there were personal mistakes, but how we set up that game, we deserved it. We deserved every single one of those goals. We got absolutely outclassed.
Marcelo, I understand all your concern. Like right now, everything you're saying, I understand your concern. And the reason why this is happening is because the players are choosing not to play. That is all it is. Because if you look at it very well, we are blaming the coach because that is what the players want. And some of the players shall ride on their contract for the new coach. Because it's going to take at least another year, a season, for another coach to figure them out. These players, Pochettino don't want them. They were told.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, your volume is so low.
Yeah, it's very low.
It's real hard to hear you.
I'll say this. Look. The only way for me, Mourinho stays, and the only way I can get his trust.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah.
Can you hear me better? What I'm saying to you is, Pochettino, these players that we're talking about, Pochettino doesn't even want them. They were third place. They weren't even second choice. They were third choice. And now you're asking a third choice player to become a superstar. It's not gonna happen. It's like you are comparing Skip to Winks. What would you choose? You would choose Skip or Winks? Everybody knows that you're gonna choose Skip over Winks. But guess what? The whole reason why they lost that game, number one, I said we are Tottenham TV. I said it and I posted it on there. Croatians play 180 minutes game. They don't play 90 minutes game like we do. Because after the 180, that's when they have a lot of energy. If you look at all the games they play in the World Cup, you will see that they actually won on the extra time. They beat whoever they beat on the extra time. They were third for 2 years straight. That's how they play. And when we are playing this, I said, these people, don't underestimate them. Don't just think you're going to put the second B team there and go and win. But the problem is he put the B team there because he figured that, let me rest the players, which that's what every coach will do. You have to rest some players. You cannot play everybody all the time. But the problem is the players already gave up. They don't want to play because.
But how do they already give up on you after one fucking year? How?
No, they gave up. They gave up for this reason. Let me tell you, they give up.
Like
they give up for this reason.
In Pochettino's first year, yes, there were a couple players that rebelled, but for the whole bench,
they got rid of.
No. They are giving up. They are giving up because of. No, they are giving up because of influence from other players. Other players like Danny Rose. If Danny Rose is coming to that place every day saying, "Oh, very soon he's going to drop you too," or if you go to Ali and said, "Oh, very soon he's going to drop you too," all these players are influencing the players that are playing. And if you're influencing them in a way, it's gonna turn to negative. It's not gonna come positive. The
All
only way to compensate,
I agree
for
with you.
example, if you look at Region, have you seen any time Region started laxing until it was exhausted? Oiborg was played the whole game. Every game he was playing. The only game he didn't play was that game. If Oiborg wasn't that play, he won't allow that to happen. If he sees that the players are not playing, he himself went to make a shot and try to score several times in some games. Do you guys notice that? But
Okay,
there are
but
some
the thing
players
is,
who have,
I have not had my questions answered. I asked
Yeah.
one simple question from you guys.
yeah.
Would you trust either Ten Hag or Mourinho with the limited resources that they will have in this club? And no one,
Mike,
and no
Mike,
one,
Mike,
no,
Mike,
no, no,
Mike,
This is
no
my
one
show.
answered.
I'll mute you all. I don't care.
my
I'll answer.
thing is,
Awesome. Chill,
put it
chill,
this
chill,
way.
chill, chill. Let me answer first, then you can come in. I'll give you the time, promise.
Okay.
Because my answer is going to be short.
Mhm.
Easy. If we have no money, it doesn't matter because we won't be able to bring anyone in.
No,
And if we have the money and we can bring people in, then why not let Marino give it a shot with actually solid defense?
No, but I'm not talking about world-class players. Maybe we'll get, maybe one class signing, but the rest is gonna be, young prospect. The usual Enoch signing, like the Joe Rodons. The usual.
I'm
Listen,
tired,
we've
yeah.
all.
tired of the
Yeah,
six-pack
give us
Diet Coke.
Sabistar,
I know we're
Rodon
all
is good.
tired of it, but listen, this is the
Sabistar,
reality.
Rodon.
Unless, okay, the only way you're going to change that, right, and get Mourinho the players he needs, right, is if we go to White Hart Lane, we protest, and we get Enoch out, and we get new owners.
That's not gonna happen.
And is that going to happen? No,
I'd
it's
just
not going
rather
to
give.
happen.
I'd
Just
rather
be
give-
realistic. Just be realistic. That's
I'd
not
rather
going to
get
happen.
one tall boy of a quality beer than a six-pack of Natty Ice, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
But
I'm sick of the six-packs of Natty Ice.
But no, but I'm asking the question. With
Who
the
would you
limited
trust?
resources we have, who would you trust for a rebuild at Tottenham Hotspurs? Ten Hag or Jose Mourinho? From what I've seen, Ten Hag.
But based on what you are saying just now, what is that's why I keep saying, what is the goal for Tottenham? Is the
Thank
goal
you.
top 4 or the goal to championship?
Thank you.
Are we talking about winning the championship or are we talking about just staying mid-table? If
Listen,
you're talking about
man.
mid-table, we can stay mid-table. Then we can go and get any coach and we're gonna start the rebuild and start from mid-table. Because
Listen,
the problem
man.
is any coach that is there, it doesn't matter. Like I said, it doesn't matter when the coach is there. If I'm a player from Europe, I'm looking for a place I can get paid and I don't have to do anything. Tottenham Hotspur is a place to go because all you got to do is sit on the bench, drag your feet, fight the coach, fight the manager, and let them get the manager out. Another manager will come. That's the thing. That's how it works because there is no goal. You have to have a goal. And if you bring a manager that says this is the goal, because right now in this century that we are in, back in the days, that's why Mourinho hasn't recognized that yet. That's the mistake he's doing.
You want to know what Enoch's
the manager
goal is?
has right back in the days. Right now, the manager has more power. Back in the days, right now, the player has more power with the Twitter and social media. So any little thing that happened, a player just put it on social media, and everybody gets the coach out. That's just it. That's how it is. The players has more power than the manager. It doesn't matter what the manager do. The players has more. Okay, look at Manchester United. All the players are working over Oli over there because
they're
he
second
doesn't
place.
have no power. He has to.
They're still in the Europa League.
He has to kiss Pogba's butt. He has
Second
to
place
kiss
in
all
the
those
Europa
players'
League.
butt because that's how it is.
They're second place in the Europa League.
It's still in the
He hasn't
Euro-
lost. He hasn't lost his players.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
How many
But
times?
sometimes
How many times?
you have to do-
No. But like, let me ask you this: we mock Ollie a lot, right? But how many times has his job been online, and he's been able to figure something out and turn it around, right?
No, he was able
No,
because
but
he
like-
was able to kiss. That's what I'm saying. He was able to kiss some people's ass, and he got rid of some people. Remember, some people left. He actually got rid of some people because some players don't want.
He
Some
barely
players
got
don't
rid of
want those
anybody.
people.
He barely got rid of anybody, man.
Marcelo, I don't ever buy that Ollie's job was ever in fucking jeopardy, to be honest with you.
But you got to remember there was a point where his job was under stress. But even then, when things look bad, Jason, right? When things have looked bad at Manchester United, you cannot deny Ole went and somehow figured out a way to turn it around.
What did they figure? What did they turn out? Listen, okay.
He went from
they got-
7th place
they got
to top 4.
Okay, and right now they didn't get out of the group phase of the freaking Champions League. Okay,
Yeah.
they barely scraped by freaking was it who's it? Who the fuck
AC
is it?
Milan.
AC Milan. Thank you. Okay, they barely scraped by AC Milan, and as soon as they scraped by AC Milan,
You got knocked out by the lowest ranked team in the Europa League.
right.
I wouldn't be bragging about. I wouldn't be
I'm
mocking them
saying-
about scraping by AC Milan.
Point is,
AC Milan are our top club.
they
They would have smashed us.
They
They
got
would have
scraped.
fucking ran
Look,
over us.
let me.
No.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you.
Hold on, they scraped by the AC Milan because thanks to a freaking phantom handball call that got a goal ripped away from AC Milan in the first leg. Okay, they got that bullshit ass handball, and they got through. And the minute they get through, okay, what did they do? They give Ali a freaking extension for sitting second in the league and getting to the quarterfinals of the freaking Champions League. And
Yeah,
then
but we mocked this guy.
I know,
And he's a
Bruno
better-
Fernandes saved his job, and
Yeah,
and
Bruno
you
Fernandes,
passed on him for
yeah,
£7 million.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
congratulations. And
unlucky.
guess who? No, but guess who Mourinho has? He has Harry Kane and Sonaldo, two of the best
But let me ask you a
European
question, Marcel. I
partnerships
agree with
in
you.
Europe.
I agree with you.
Bruno-
Hold up,
He
hold up.
has the
Bruno-
best European partnership in
No,
Europe.
but Bruno-
Don't
but
give me this whole Bruno
but Bruno-
Fernandes bullshit. He has the two best players, the guys that broke Drogba and Lampard's record.
Right.
All right.
Well,
He
agree.
has
Let me
he
tell you,
has
who's
he has
giving him
key
service?
players that can
Who's
change
giving
up
him
the game.
service? Who's
Same
giving him
topic, same
service?
question. Marcelo, do you think Son and Kane would stay through another rebuild, or do you think they're both jet? You're right. You bring in Ten Hag. Is he going
Well,
to
the thing
keep
is,
Kane
nobody
and Son
answered
here?
my question. Everybody just went around.
I did.
it.
I
No,
answered.
no, you did, but nobody else answered my question. I said,
I told you straight up. I said,
and even then,
just
Will, you
leave me-
didn't quite answer my question. I said limited resources, right?
Yeah.
You know, with what
I
Enoch
gave both
is.
scenarios. Do we
No,
have
no,
money or
but
we don't?
No. You know how Enoch is, right? You know how they run the club. Who would you choose, Ten Hag or Mourinho?
I don't
Well,
think it matters.
I can answer your question because I'll tell you like this. You say limited resources. Okay, who are you going to buy with
Yeah.
the limited resources?
Yeah.
You've been following the club long enough. You know how Enoch is.
Right, but I'm saying if he says, okay, I know
You're
how
playing dumb, man.
Yeah, I know. You say limited resources, and they say, okay, you got to sell to buy. Okay. By the way, this is the same thing that Liverpool had. Liverpool had limited resources.
Yeah.
All they did was sell Philip Coutinho. That's all they did. That's how they financed their team. That's all they did.
So you would trust, and they rebuilt. Yeah, so you would trust. So you would trust Mourinho or Ten Hag?
So go look up.
Just answer my question. Would you trust?
I'll trust Mourinho with selling
Depends
Ali.
on who they're
I'll
gonna-
trust Mourinho with selling Ali to get money. I'll get Mourinho to sell Ali. And if let me give you a simple way to solve this problem. If we have all the players in Burnley with Kane as a striker, Son, Dombele, and Region there, trust me, they will be the Premier League champion.
How much you
Because-
get? How much you get for Dele Alli? Since you want to say you want to sell Dele Alli, how much you get for Dele Alli? Real talk.
Like 50,000, 50 million.
No, you're not getting 50 at all.
No.
All right. I
Hell
mean, okay. So you guys are not going to answer my question. Fine. What is your question then, Will?
Hell
That you
no.
want me to answer?
You're not getting 50 for Dele.
No, my question was simply, do you think Son and Kane would stick through a Ten Hag rebuild?
Through a Ten Hag rebuild? I don't think they would, man. I don't think they would.
You lose both of them if you get rid of Mourinho.
You'll probably lose both of them. But listen. At the end of the day, we lost Bale, and yeah, we didn't replace them very well, right? But then eventually we got Pochettino, and he was able to rebuild, right? I don't want to see Sonny or Kane go. They're two of my favorite players of this generation. But I think if we stick with Mourinho isn't going to get the backing that he needs. And Mourinho doesn't work with scraps. He works with, quality players, world-class players, which we will not provide for him. And yeah, and like Bob Spur will say, yes, Mourinho's CV is great, But you know what's also on Mourinho's CV that you guys also ignore is that when it gets bad with them, it doesn't get better. And when he has a fallout with the board, it's a bad fallout, man. And when you don't give him the players that he don't wants, he does exactly what Bob's first say. He tells them to go fuck themselves, and then we will be in a shitstorm. We will be in a shitstorm when that. No. You think this is bad? Wait until things start falling out between Mourinho and Levy. Then you're gonna wish. And said, you know what? Maybe we should have sacked him. But I'm gonna say this: if Mourinho gets top 4, in my opinion, he has to stay. He has to be given a chance. But if he does not get top 4, right, and he gets and he gets 7th. I can't trust him with the rebuild, man.
I don't see us getting 7th, man.
If we get 6, if we get listen, he needs to get top 4.
As long as the Phil doesn't win the Europa League, we can finish 6th and be the exact same place we were last year.
But Will, let me explain to you why he needs to get top 4. If he gets top 4, maybe we can get him the quality players that he needs. If he doesn't get top 4, you can forget about getting any quality players. We will need a manager that can work with scraps, and Mourinho will not work with scraps. Let's just be realistic. You got to be realistic with this thing and realize who we're working with. If you give me a choice between Mourinho out or Levy out, it's always Levy out any day of the week. It's always Enoch out every day of the week. But they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere.
Can I say something? Why do we have to settle with scrap? I don't get it. Regulon wasn't a crap. Regulon is young, but see how he plays.
We have crap.
Do we really have to settle for scrap? Really? Why do we have to stood down low? Why do we always have to go low?
We don't have to go
low.
Skip
is not
the board. Because of the board. Because of this board.
Is Skip scrap? Is Skip scrap?
No.
Skip
okay, so we're gonna. Okay, so
some players just choose.
So you're telling me. Okay, so we're gonna talk about youngsters now. So who would you trust? So who would you trust? Who would you trust with the youngsters, Ten Hag or Mourinho? Because I couldn't wait.
Mourinho already said Steve is gonna be the next captain. Why would he say that if he doesn't believe in him? Why would he send him out to go and get training for him? Because he wants to see clearly who is who. Trust me, he doesn't want Winks in there because you cannot play Winks. You know Winks cannot be there. You know Winks cannot be playing there. You know, we all know this. Why would he go and get?
I don't want to hear Winks ever wear Spurs shirt again.
I mean, how can you go and get Højbjerg if Højbjerg is such a you know? I'm
Bobby,
just saying,
if you want to jump on here,
are good.
Bobby, if you want to jump on here and defend the UK people, I want to know why right now that everybody in the UK is slamming Gareth Bale for his comments, but Harry Winks gets a pass on saying that the only reason why he wants to start is so he can make the Europa squad or the Euro squad.
Euro squad.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem.
I
don't have a problem with Bale. I think Alistair Gold said it perfectly. Like Bale basically simply gave a standard answer. Basically, just explaining the situation. Yeah,
but no, I want to know why Harry Winks gets a pass after what he's done to the club. Why does Harry Winks get a pass?
I don't know.
Yeah, we know why. You know why? Because it's English. That's it. That's why. It's because it's English. That's why he get a pass because it's English, and they want more English on the team than foreign players. That's it. And that's
Bale's technically an English player too, right?
He counts as a UK player. I don't have a problem with Bale's comments, and personally, you know, Winks just needs to come out and say that he's ready to go. He needs to go. There are that's what we're not talking about is that there are toxic players in that locker room. There are very
there you go. That's what I was telling you. They are toxic players.
But then why doesn't Mourinho go brave? And this is where I fucking can't stand him. Why doesn't he go brave and play some youngsters instead of playing these toxic players that he knows are toxic?
He is now. I think he just took him a while.
Too fucking late. This is already the end of the fucking season. There's 10 games left. Holy, how fucking long is it gonna take? Like Arteta was able to see it before him. This guy, Arteta, this is his first year managing, and he has taken more leap of faith than Mourinho.
I'm saying, he's gone soft.
Marcelo. Marcelo,
afraid, man.
Marcelo, a man with his CV, okay? He was not brought into this goddamn squad to play young players, dude. Come on, let's keep it a buck. He was not brought into the squad to go ahead and play Dane
I don't
Scarlett.
care. He has to develop. He has to develop. Pep Guardiola has played young players. Pep Guardiola, Pep Guardiola, when he's had to, he put Phil Foden.
How long has Phil Foden stayed on the damn bench? You forget that. Don't forget.
Foden
that
shouldn't
Man
be on the
City-
bench as much as he is.
Thank you. Don't forget that Man City, okay, had Jadon Sancho. Do not forget that under Pep. Don't forget that Man City had Jadon Sancho, and he got pissed off and went to Dortmund. Okay, and by the way, Foden, thank goodness for them, he had the patience to just sit there and wait his turn.
He's still not starting.
Thank you.
He's only starting 50% of the season, and he's probably the best midfielder they've got.
Yeah,
But
so
when,
Pep-
but when
so-
he's
so-
needed, no. But when he's needed
no,
him,
no.
when he's needed him, when he's needed him, he has put his faith on him. When Arteta needed his youngsters, he put his faith on them. When Klopp
Arteta has no choice. Are you really gonna bring up
and Mourinho
Arteta?
and Mourinho has no fucking choice. Are
No,
you
no, no,
fucking kidding
Arteta
me?
has-
Are you
Arteta
fucking
has-
kidding me?
you
No,
know-
hold on a second. No, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me just catch you on your contradiction. You telling me Harry Winks is shit. You're telling me Sissoko is shit. You telling me these players are unplayable, that Mourinho can't get nothing out of them, right? And then you're telling me that he has a choice, and that Arteta didn't have a choice.
Yeah, he's
No,
got Ndombele
Mourinho has no
Højbjerg.
choice. No, but when he has to rotate, he has no choice but to play these young players. You cannot sit here and tell me these players are unplayable, but then say, "Oh, Mourinho has to play them instead of the youngsters." That is bullshit.
Well, most of
It's
them-
either
well, most of
they're
them are already
playable, it's
out,
either
bro.
they're playable or they're unplayable. If they're unplayable, you play the fucking youngsters. It's simple as that. That is a contradiction.
But most of them are already out, though. You cannot play Skip when Skip is already in Norwich. You cannot
listen.
He's not talking about all of the Skip.
I'm talking about Bowden or any of these other guys that give a shit.
You're not fucking playing.
I would play Bowden over Winks. I would give Bowden a chance over Winks. I would give Bowden a chance over Winks. I would last season I was saying play Oliver Skip over Winks. And now Winks, Oliver Skip, everybody is now saying, going into tune by saying, oh, we gotta play Skip, everybody, no. Half of the fucking shit everybody is saying is stuff I was saying last season. I was saying play Sessegnon over Davies. Everybody mocked me. Everybody said, "Oh, Marcelo, you don't know anything. Davies is an experienced Premier League left back. He should be playing over Sessegnon." I said, "No, Sessegnon has way more quality." Guess what? He's bombing in Hoffenheim. Now we're getting screwed this season. I was saying last season, play Skip over Winks. Everybody was telling me, "Oh no, Mourinho CV, he trusts Winks more because he has experience." Oh, Marcelo, you're wrong. You're an idiot. Guess what? Mourinho got knocked out because he played fucking Winks instead of Skip. All right. So I've been saying stuff before fans have been saying it, right? And now, like, I'm getting mocked for it, and now I'm saying that Bowden will put more of an effort than Winks, and now I'm gonna be mocked at it. And now I'm telling you, in the future, you're gonna be saying the same fucking thing.
I have one question. Would you have screamed at Pochettino to play Skip over Winks?
Yeah, fucking 100%.
No way.
Skip over Winks? Yes.
You say that now because he's tearing it up in the championship. You'd say that now, but nobody in their right mind last season.
I was saying it last season.
No.
Yes, I was. After the Norwich game, I said we have to play Skip over Winks when it's rotations. Yes.
When Winks is getting called up by the England squad.
Oh my God! I was fucking saying. You cannot tell me something. You cannot tell me something. Listen, you can ask Will Stewart. No, Jason, you can ask Will Stewart. I have been saying for the longest time to play youngsters over this Deadwood. I have been the first person to say it. You can ask David. Ask anyone that's watched my content.
The thing is, I'm not disagreeing with you that you're saying that they should play the youngsters, but you have to understand and admit this. The minute you freaking hired Jose Mourinho as your damn manager, that shit about playing youngsters goes out the fucking window.
So he can't adapt.
That's not what we thought.
So he can't adapt. So he can't adapt. So being a manager,
Can I
he
give
can't
my view
adapt.
on this now? Can I give my view on this situation and why I think he hasn't played the youngsters and why I think he's given so many choices? I think that after the United incident, circumstance was really kind of the first season where he had his last two experiences in management, Chelsea, United, were difficult, right? Difficult. They didn't end well, right? Didn't end well. I think he tried to change himself. So instead of being the old Mourinho who would have called out Winks, sent him to the U23s, ripped his squad number off, which is what I would have done. I've said that for weeks now, right? I think he's gone a little bit soft. And so I think he's trying to be a little bit more kind and nice and do that, which I wish he wouldn't have been, right? I think he was trying to be the new Jose Mourinho. And it was a mistake. I agree with you. But my point is that with these players, I don't think anyone could do any worse or any better. I don't.
I don't know, man. I think
if Jose leaves, Jose leaves. It doesn't matter. But I don't think we're going to get a better result.
Personally, I think a manager of Ten Hag or, maybe even Nagelsmann would have taken more of a leap of faith and, maybe would have set up better tactics where, we will go out there with an intention to win. But
yeah, because they didn't have the same negative experience that Mourinho had, right? They're not coming from his same background.
I will say this. I have been here for 3 hours and a half. And Abby Light has been calling me a liar, saying that I never said that, I said about playing young player. You're an absolute fool and an idiot and never seen one of my content. You can go watch We Are Tottenham TV. You can go watch Irish Hotspur. You can go watch any of those channels. You can ask David. You can ask anybody. I have said multiple times that I would rather start these youngsters than the Deadwood.
Okay,
all right. You can call me a liar, buddy. But you can also do your little bit of a research on your part. So, being a fool and arrogant it's all fun and games. But no, I gotta go. I gotta go to sleep, man.
No. I just want to ask you a question before you go. Just ask me a question. Just tell me. In the formation
I've been
right now.
Question all day.
No. In the formation right now.
Let's not attack our panel guests, please. They were kind enough to come on tonight.
Just list real quick. Who would you play moving forward now in every position? Just list all of them, then I'll just then you can go.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yep. Okay. So left back, obviously Reguilon. If we need to rotate Reguilon, play Dennis Serkin. I don't want to see Davies ever again in left back, right?
Yeah,
I'd rather give Dennis Serkin a chance. Can't believe we have yet to give him a chance. I've been saying this. Center back, Toby, Sanchez. Right? If that is not a possible, if we need to rotate Toby, then play Rodon and Sanchez. Right? I've been saying this for the longest time now. I've been saying to
why Rodon and Sanchez? Because Sanchez makes individual mistake. Rodon is better, and
because Rodon one has I'm saying in case we have to rotate Toby. I said Toby and Sanchez. But since Toby is old,
Sanchez makes individual mistake.
But Sanchez is better than Dyer. He's better.
No,
than
I'm
Dyer.
saying why don't you play Toby and Rodon and just go with that? Don't even change it at all.
No, but personally, I think Toby and Sanchez has been a pretty decent partnership.
They have been.
They actually been a pretty decent partnership. So why fix something that's not broken?
Marcel's right. It's 3:30. We've been on here
for
3.5 hours.
Who are you gonna play right back?
I'll play Tanganga at right back.
Yeah, we'll flip a Tanganga.
Yeah, and also just another mention. I've been saying Tanganga at right back over Doherty and Aurier since my Burnley pre-match. Even though he is a center back, I said he's a better right back than Aurier and Doherty in my pre-match. I think for Burnley, you can go check that out, and We Are Tottenham TV. And I was laughed at. For that. So you know what? Make fun of me all you want, but I have these original ideas. No, I'm not saying you guys. I'm saying these other people. Make fun of me all you want.
So you're gonna
everything I say, but half of the shit I say always come back to reality. All right? Because listen. I have nothing to prove, man. this
what-
is gonna
what
be
format-
recorded. This is gonna be
with this-
recorded, and when it happens, it is what it is. All right.
You're gonna play the same formation, right? You're not gonna change the formation. It's gonna be the same, right? Or you're gonna
Yeah,
change
no,
the
no, no,
formation?
yeah. And then midfield, Hoiberg and no baller. Up front, Lucas, and then for the front three, Son, Kane, and then fucking right wing is spend the bottle. Either Bale or Bergwijn or one of those.
All right.
fuckers. They're all
I
useless.
love this. I love
Okay.
this, and we're gonna be
All right.
able to. We've got lots of the future to go on. We've got a lot
Yeah.
of future to go on, but I gotta say,
All right.
we've been on here for 3.5 hours.
All right, thanks.
It's one for me and Marcel. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning for
Yeah.
Jason too, I believe, and well, I think all of us are on the
Yeah.
East Coast. What are we all doing? It's tomorrow's Monday. We all have work to do.
I have to be at work in a
But
couple of
I just want
hours,
to thank Marcelo a ton for coming on. He is our regional defensive guy, and even if we disagree with you, you know for a fact that I hold no. I like to hear your negative
Yeah.
opinions, and I think that a lot of the commenters love you too, right? They just it's fun to get heated and tapped up.
Yeah.
So we got to remember that even though we do things, but also too when you're in the chat, let's try to not do like ad hominem attacks, right? You can argue the argument. Let's not.
Yeah, I'm
start
fine with
throwing-
arguing, but don't don't say
So-
I'm lying about.
yeah,
something
don't
when I-
sling accusations at people. That's not cool. But anyway, and also too,
I
for
mean-
people that
I
don't know,
mean,
this was our
Marcelo-
most watched stream. This was our most watched stream for the night ever. We were up to like 35, 36 people at one time, which we usually average around 20. That's what we're at right now. But I just want to thank everybody from coming on. Right. I'm going to give you guys a 1-minute closing statement, and then we're going to close it out. And I will mute you after 1 minute. So try to keep it to 1 minute.
I'm gonna just talk quick. I don't even have 1 minute. I only have like 30 seconds. Let me.
All right, go ahead.
Marcelo, I like you, man. You're a good guy, man. I'm not gonna lie. I know you. You are very supportive, Dave, and everybody. Even Will, you support everybody. I like your opinion. You are a Jose supporter until the players messed up in that Europe game, because I've watched you before. You always give Jose applause, even though you are in the beginning. You were like, "Let me."
I was a
let me
Jose
give him a
supporter.
chance."
Yeah, I never denied it.
I know you gave me a chance.
Yeah.
And
I was trying
know
to give him a
and
chance.
like I said to you, the players who wants to write on their contract,
Yeah.
and they gave up on
But I also-
Jose,
but
and
if you-
they were not playing.
But if you also watch
And
my
they are
interview,
trying to get Jose out. Normally,
Yeah.
if Jose, let's say this was Chelsea, Jose will be fired the next morning after losing that
Absolutely.
game. That's the
Yeah.
point. That's what they were trying to achieve.
but I will
But they
say
didn't fire-
this.
even till now, I thought Jose. I said to my people, I said Jose is going to be fired that next morning, but it's okay. It's not fired yet, but it's all right. But I said it was going to fire because that was the goal,
10 seconds.
and that's what it did. So, but anyway, I love you guys. I enjoy you guys. I gotta be at work in the morning, like 3 hours. I gotta get up and go to work.
Well, then
So
what are you
thank
still here
Nice
for?
to
Go to
meet
bed,
you
man.
guys.
What are you
Go to
doing?
bed,
You're
man.
crazy.
Go to bed.
All right.
Nice
Thanks for
meeting you
coming
guys.
on.
See you guys
Good
later,
night.
Yeah,
man.
appreciate it, man.
I'm out.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Jason?
First of all, thanks, Will, once again, bringing a great show. Marcelo, man, I love you, dude. Appreciate the insight. I know you're passionate just like I am. I mean, we ain't gonna see eye to eye, but we all, at the end of the day, we all want our team to win. Okay, come on, you Spurs. And then, by the way, Will, just real quick, a little bit off topic, but once again, the men's USA under 23 didn't qualify for another Olympic, for the third Olympic in a row.
Yeah, we talked about it at the beginning, yeah.
Freaking embarrassing. Okay, I don't know what's going on with the USA program, but apart from
You're
that,
trying to get to the qualifiers. That's your main focus.
They couldn't play their good people who are under the age of 23 because the Olympic or the World Cup qualifiers are the same summer as the Olympic Games, so you can't play them both. So they had to play like second tier U23s. Like Gio Reyna's not playing U23s, and neither is a lot of the other guys. So
neither is a man, but I don't know. They need to fix that because we're too big of a country not to be qualifying and actually winning some of these tournaments.
but it was the first time we beat a European team in the last 4 years away.
That's true. That's true.
So
Well, that's
you gotta find pods.
I mean, the World Cup looks promising. You got to get there.
Yeah.
Okay, the World Cup looks promising. But anyway, back to Spurs. I mean, I'm not a Jose in. I'm not really I just want the team to win. I just want us to do well. Okay. And I mean, at some point, we got to get rid of the deadwood. We all know that there's deadwood in the team. Okay. Unfortunately, it may cost us either a Kane or a Son. to finance that rebuild. I don't know. I'm with you. I don't trust Jose to do a rebuild. I really don't. Okay.
So why didn't you answer my question?
No, I don't. Well, because if you said limited resources, so it's like, is it a limited?
The resources that Enoch usually give, which is limited resources.
Yeah, well,
like, let's be realistic.
If you're gonna go with the youth squad, then no, I do not trust. Like I said, Brendan Rodgers. I'm not shitting on poo-pooing on freaking Tim Hogg either. But no, if you're gonna build from the youth squad, then yeah, Tim Hogg or Brendan Rodgers definitely. It depends on the goal of the team. What are you trying to do? You built this beautiful stadium. Are you trying to put some trophies in it? If you want to put some trophies, Mourinho's the man. You need to give the man what he wants. You need to give him tools, A+ tools, not the shit tools that we got. We got to get rid of the deadwood, the poison, and the cancers in the locker room, and we'll probably do well. But until the next podcast, Will, thanks for having me, Marcelo. I'll see you.
Having you, buddy.
Great
discussion.
Yeah, Jason, you're a great guest. Please come back.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, I got my kids in the bed tonight, so.
Night.
Awesome. All right, thanks, my man. Have a good one.
You too.
See you, brother.
All right.
Come on, Spurs.
And Marcelo, thank you very much for coming on. I know that with your new work schedule, it's hard for you to get on these things these days, and so I appreciate you hanging out with me for 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Absolutely, I love it, man. I love coming in here. This is a great channel. You're a great guy. So
these streams, dude, I don't think anybody's out there doing like 3 and 4 hours without doing a watch along. Like watch alongs are 3 and 4 hours long, but
yeah. But I'll say this: it was great discussion. It did not feel like a 3 hours free. So
no, it went by real quick.
I think you got something real, going on here, Will. I think what you're doing is a real good thing. Getting Spurs fans' opinions, getting both sides unbiased. So congratulate you. You're a big supporter of Spurs community. I always see you donating, helping other channels out. So you're a great guy. So thank you for that. You're an awesome guy. So thank you for that. Thank you for having me. It's always an honor to be here with you. And
you're welcome anytime, my man. You're welcome anytime. So in fact, for the people, I asked Marcelo to come on, right? It wasn't like he was just here. I asked him specifically to come on for this one because I value his expertise on the defensive side of the game. I reached out to him and I said, hey man, we're doing a show on defense. Can you come on? And because I really, you're the expert in this area more than me. And so yeah, he came here with his time, and I know that it's fiery and I love the banter, but at the end of the day, we all want Spurs to win.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, I always said it as well. There is a way back for Mourinho. My 1 minute will be this.
Top 4 and it'd be fine. Yeah.
Top 4 and he gets back, right? So I'm not one of these Jose outers where it's like there's no way for redemption for him. He has a road to redemption. But from what I've seen, it's already enough for me to realize that he is not the manager that can work with this board and work with the tools that we're going to give him and succeed. And that's just my opinion on it. And if you're looking at realistically, I think he is not going to succeed at Spurs. He's not going to succeed with Daniel Levy and with this board. But to be honest, most managers won't. But if we can get him a Pochettino figure, you know what I mean? You got to remember, we were so close under Pochettino. We were one game away for winning Champions League. And I know that kills it. But if we can get a figure like that again, that can just deal with this board, work with the scraps that he has given, and, trying to turn miracles, maybe we can get. I know it's a 10-pot. Listen, don't get me wrong. It's a 10-pot mentality. You know what I want to be saying, Will? I want to be saying, yeah, let's get Mourinho. Let's get Allegri. Let's give him Sabitzer. Let's give him, the Skriniars in the world. Let's give him this. Let's give him a world-class squad. Let's play some beautiful football. Let's just, spend a ton of money and, have success. But unfortunately, we have Enoch. And when you have Enoch, you just can't think like that. You can't think we're going to get the Skriniar, Sabitzer, and all these guys. Maybe we'll get one of them, but we're not going to get all of them. We're just not. And so you have to know what you're working with. And I know what we're working with. I know Enoch well enough. I've been wanting them out since 2013 for a reason, or 2012. Can't remember. I don't know. It's a long time ago since I wanted them out. So it's been a long time since I wanted them out. And I think as long as they're here, we're going to have a manager that can work miracles, man. That's the
No,
only way I see it.
I agree with you. And like for me, I'm at the point where I'd rather sell 5 and buy 1 than sell 5 and buy 5 poor players, right? Like I'd rather build one world-class player season at a time than rock out 5 or 6 players at once. But we've been on long enough that the batteries in your headphones have gone dead. So
yeah, so I'm gonna go. I
Thank
will
you.
start scouting Botman because everybody keeps asking me about him. So I will start looking at him and seeing how he is. I'm sure he's a good one. But thank you for having me, Will, and come on, you Spurs, and good night.
Yep. Good night, my man.
Good night.
All right, guys. What a long stream. It was a great one, though, right? The conversation. We had the man. We had Marcelo, right? We all love Marcelo, even though, he's you guys may disagree with his opinions. We all love it. Love your scarf in the back wheel, KFA represent. Yeah, man. It's my home away from home. Early night for you next time. We'll definitely need to come on. Love the show, lads. Yeah, Bobster, we'd love to have you on, man. If there's a time that works better for you, maybe we can do a special show and have you on. That'll be great. And everybody check out Bobspur TV's channel too, right? He's a big supporter of all the fan community. Great guy. Go check his stuff out. And yeah. And then, but anyway, we have Marcelo on. He's a great guest. He came on and he gave some really good points about defense. He really likes to scout and look for defenders, whereas I'm a little bit more offensively focused. And then we had Brian Daigle. Brian Daigle's always a great guest to have on. We had Cody Mack all the way out there. And we also had Jason, who's a great person to have on. And we had Austin Mall back on, as well as Andre for a little bit. He didn't get to say much because of the internet connection. But we're professional. And the guys, the focus of the show is eventually we want, and David, 안녕하세요, we want the Korean folks or anybody who wants to come on the show, join the chat. We can have up to 9 people at a time. And just kind of have talks like that. Man, 3 hours, 45 minutes is our longest stream yet. But anyway, thank all of you guys for watching. Remember to share this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Please subscribe. It really helps the channel. It helps us get the word out there and do all that stuff. Or if you're watching after the fact, make sure that you share the video out to your friends. Let people know, what's going on. And stay strong. Stay Spurs. And we'll see you next time.
1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go now.